The first thing he did was la la. La la. Explain, Mikey.
Yeah, the first thing I did was Lala the melody. And with the melody, you would get the chord structure. Yes. I had Lala the melody and to get the chord structure. And if you know when you write your calypso, you will Lala your melody, whether it's chorus part or the verse part.
Hold on, Ipa. Hold on. So when you're judging melody, you have to lala. And if you can't lala the melody, then there is a weak melody. That is why school children always sing the most popular songs, because it is the melody that stick in the brain. All right? So we go to Mala, we come to the next person, we go through the same procedure. Mala? Okay. Excellent. Nice, Mike.
Right, so our group looked at the same song. Yeah, our group looked at the same song, Carnival History, from Beckett, and then we more or less went through assessing it based on the categories on the score sheet. So in terms of lyrics, we spoke about the structure of the song. We know that Carnival has its roots in storytelling, and that's essentially what the song did. He started to tell his story about his experience in Hawaii. Right. Speaking to somebody who asked him about Carnival, and then he told them the story, right? So it could be compared to, I think somebody mentioned something about English, narrative story writing, writing a narratives in English. So he started, the first verse was like a general introduction to the song. So you knew from right there that the song was going to be based on Carnival, the history of Carnival. And then from there, the second verse, he started breaking it down, the components. So he started with which one was first again? Ipa? The Calypso,
Yeah.
right.
This is yeah.
The Calypsonians, and then he went to the mass aspect, right? So it was a general thing. That's like your first paragraph if you are writing an essay, and then the second paragraph, the first component, the second component, third component, and then he wrapped it up, right? So we felt that the structure was really good, so he would have scored highly for that. And right, so on the melody now, we spoke about the suitability of the tune, which is the melody thing that you would walk away singing. We spoke about the suitability of the melody to the lyrics. So we asked the question, is this melody appropriate? It went well with the lyrics? And our answer was yes. It's a kind of laid back, I'm looking for my notes. Yeah, we have here laid back. Some said it's a sweet melody, appropriate for telling, the history of Carnival. We spoke about the marriage of the melody and the concept, right, made through the lyrics. If you were to score, well, not if you were, the song would have been scored. So if you look at the written contour of the melody, you would realize that, it has some shape, and that's usually an indication of a good melody as well, with diversity and so. Right, and then we looked at rendition, and we spoke about clarity. Were the words, the lyrics, were they clear? Did we hear them clearly from the performance? We spoke about, I mentioned articulation, the emphasis on certain words and phrases to really bring the story alive. Yeah, expression and so on. Getting into character. We really found that he got into character to tell that story, and he looked comfortable delivering the melody and the lyrics. So he would have scored highly also for rendition. And then we had a little discussion on presentation. somebody asked the question, what the judges really look for when they talk about presentation? And we basically came to the consensus that it's the judges look for a lot of things outside of the melody and the lyrics. So things like your attire. Last night we went Calico with the Calypso out there. Sheena sang a song about violence, curbing violence, and she was dressed almost like one of them, who does wear that, SSU, right? She had on the like hyper pants, right? So the her attire matched the concept, the lyrics of the song. So your attire, your whole stagecraft, the props, what kind of theater you're bringing to the stage, does it complement the lyrics, the song, right? So we had a question though. I don't think this was totally answered, so maybe the group could help. We were wondering about the distinction between rendition in certain parts and presentation. So anybody?
So we were saying rendition is a part of presentation as well. Because look, if the mic you're looking for it here, no? Yeah. Yeah. So we look at when we speak about rendition. Rendition is that it is how the person delivering the song and how they look on stage. You understand what I'm saying? Because you can't be singing about a football game. You playing in a football game and stand up one place or sit down. You know what I mean? So a person has to be playing the part while singing as well. So yeah.
Right. And then the last thing we looked at, originality. We said that this has to do with, well, nothing is truly original, but we were discussing the ideas of bringing newness to your
something
theme.
fresh.
Yeah, so
freshness.
Your topic, right?
Yeah.
Newness, freshness, across the board. So how you might be dealing with an age-old topic, but how are you treating it differently in terms of the lyrics, in terms of your melody? Is it different from
What you have
yeah, from what the other competitors are presenting, arrangement and all of that. So yes, that's our presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I have something I want to draw to your attention. Play this song one more time, Monty. Monty.
In Hawaii, I had to teach them some carnival history. From the time they heard I was a West Indian, every day they would ask about carnival. I tell them there's no festival in carnival's class, and it's made up of the big three, Svg Calypso and Mardi Gras. And I tell them carnival is mass and music, carnival is calypso, carnival is mass and Stephen, carnival is peace, carnival is mass.
Right. What is the main musical motif in that song, in that arrangement? What is the main feature? Yelans.
He's using King Solomon's melody, 1645. That's why it's so familiar.
Well, Lance, I said earlier about chords and melody. Right? That is what stands out for you. Let me get another answer. What's the main, and Marla, I would like you to answer, what's the main musical motif, the main feature that stands out? What about the saxophone, Ipa?
The saxophone is requiring the sweetness in the song.
What about it?
Well, first thing is that it's very distinct. When you listen to the song, you find the saxophone is where putting after the vocalist, the saxophone playing some very nice lead parts.
Ipa, if you call them on WFM feedback, I'll cut you off. Make it succinct. Will, you want to play with the sax playing for me, please, if you remember? Play.
Monster GI in Hawaii. I had to teach them some
Thank you. Yeah, Will. So what we call that in music? What do we call that? Boop-a-doo-a-doo-a-doo.
I don't know what's the official word for it, but it's really it's just a fill. It's a call and answer. He waits on Beckett to finish a phrase. He comes in to fill the space. It is appropriate. It's sweet. It gives Beckett time to rest. It gives this song, I think, is designed to be comfortable to sing. And as he sings it, he takes time to breathe. And while he takes time to breathe, the musicians do their thing. He comes back and he does his part. Beckett wasn't supposed to get tired at all on stage doing this song. And the song wasn't supposed to get boring.
Yeah, that's a part of the song. We all would use it as musician as a call and answer. There's no back vocals doing that part, but that part is complementing what Beckett just said a while ago. Call and answer.
And what instrument in your imagination that saxophone is actually imitating? Brass? No? Play it one more time. Man, you should go to shut your mouth. Play it one more time. Play it one more time. Yes, a pan. Play it again. You see, these are things that judges, you have to be able to decipher. If you cannot decipher these things. Yeah, yes, there's pan, but listen to what the sax is playing. As against that part, was it more sustained?
Monster GI in Hawaii.
Play it again, Will. Play, Will, you have a pantone? Bring up a pantone. Stop. Yeah. Hard to find? Okay. Yeah, play it one more time. Play it more as if you're playing it on a pan. Right? And in other words, everything about the song is transmitting the theme. The theme is, it is about carnival. And when carnival is mass, it's fun. And therefore, when he comes on stage, or she comes on stage, you're supposed to see Moko Jumbies, Stilt Walkers, Fire Eaters, Monkey Band, and so on. We should not just be seeing people in bikini and we call these things the way you know. No, what's the name of the song? Carnival History. Right? So as judges, you have to be sensitive to these things. Somebody singing about carnival history, and all you're seeing is carnival today. And it happens so often in all the competitions. People only, the presentations, everything is only about now. Right? Okay. All right, so we can find the pan. Right? One more time, Will. That run, and then we go to the next group. What's the next group? Next group. Calypso again. Let's go Calypso again. Next group. Lance? Come, Lance. Next group. Abijah, we need the song. Why wait on the song, Mikey?
We got to find
Will,
this-
take we home and again one more time. Same song.
1992.
One T, set up the next song. You got there? All right. Come on, sing along, man.
I party in Hawaii. I wanna teach them some carnival history. From the time the hood I was a West Indian. Every day they will ask about carnival. I tell them there's no festival in carnival's class. I tell them about the big trees, the band Calypso and Mardi Gras. And I tell them carnival is mass and music. Calypso. Carnival is mass and steel band. Carnival is spree. Carnival is mass with a brass band. Carnival is spree.
Kaiso. Everything about that Kaiso is 100%. Appropriate tempo, arrangement, theme, story written, well selected song. Who selected that? Marla, you or Ipa? Okay, Enzi? Dynamites? Big up Dynamites. All right, who's next?
Two.
Well, we say that the instrumentation has a lot of jazz in it. with jazz melodies.
It's a calypso, but you could hear that the person playing it is well rooted in jazz. The chords are rich. The chords are versions and inversions, not necessarily straight chords.
Inversions, Will. Okay. Which chord? Pick a chord probably from the same song. No, the inversion. Play a first inversion, is it? First inversion, like you play the second. And inversions, if you listen to the Mighty Gabby, he would hold one chord but use the three different inversions, and you think the chord is moving. Your battery dead? All right, let's go to the next one. We'll come back and continue to explain inversions. Because inversions is very important in Calypso. Who's leading the group? Lance?
Yes.
Okay, what's the name of the song, Lance? Go ahead.
We chose Pink Panthers, I Can't See. And I want to say this, fortunately for us, Trinidad, he's singing about Trinidad, a Trinidad situation. You guys were lucky you're singing about a Simpson situation. We're singing about a Trinidad situation because the lyrics in which he's using has a lot of connotations and a lot of innuendo in it. And fortunately for us in our group was Kunta Kinte. And Kunta Kinte is very knowledgeable about Trinidad situations. Anyhow, here is the Pink Panther, I Can't See.
Play. Go down, you don't walk in good. Stand left.
Now you hear, he's blind. He's coming on stage and he's being led by someone. He has a walking stick and he has his dark glasses on. So he's playing the part.
These eyes of mine were so very fine. Well, I never thought I would now be blind. The finest print was easy for me. Now I have lost my vision entirely. It looked as though I was too hardened. I shoulda never sing about Miss Nicholson. Just because I say she's a fishy bed, like she went and walked over a hunter maid. Look what Pamela did to me.
Now you know.
I mean, she could have dealt with me differently.
Hold it.
I didn't mind she take me to court. That
Pause
was
it there. Now, how he's done this, he is saying that because he said something to somebody, which Kente will tell you who that person is, they went to Tobago and hired an Obia man. Now we are marching, we tell Marsh, you understand that. But Kente will tell you, pass this microphone to Kente, and Kente, you continue.
Well, good evening. Is it evening or morning? Good day, everyone. Afternoon. The song that we sit and listen to is a social comment. It's a social comment with a lot of satire. So the song ended up being very humorous. The topic is that we had a politician, female politician in our country, that some people believe she used to, pee her bed. And he sang the song about that. But what he was saying is that other persons sang on other people, but they were not treated the way he was treated. They went to court. And he said no, his situation, he got blind. But he's not a blind man. If you look at the video, you think he's not a blind man. But he played the part. What I'm saying here is that even though the song is a social comment, the amount of satire in the song, it ended up being like it's a humorous song, which go straight across the board for the audience. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much. Play the song one more time, please. Go back from the beginning. From the beginning. All right, stop.
Play.
Now, who can tell by the introduction of that calypso it is from Trinidad and Tobago? Who can tell? Nobody? Pass the mic, Lance, because we want people to hear.
The intro, or what you call the band chorus.
What about it?
Differentiation between the brass and the keyboard answering. They usually split up the keyboard and the brass in order to differentiation with the hand section.
Well,
well, I know that, but right. The reason why I say that because I don't hear it nowadays anymore.
No, that's not true. That's
I'm
not true.
saying I.
It is
I'm
a feature of the song, but that doesn't differentiate. Play it one more time and listen again. Holy Mike and listen again. Stop. Stop. And I want you to listen as an arranger, as a musician. I don't want you to listen as a calypsonian. And I'm going to tell you why. All my years training judges and training calypsonians and people in university and singers, I always ask, when you're on stage, what do you listen to?
First thing I looking for is the introduction. I want to hear the introduction.
What instrument do you listen to?
Oh, the bass. That's what I want.
Patrice, what you listen?
I listen to the middle of the music, between the keyboard and the guitar.
Marva, what you listen to?
I like the keyboard and guitars.
Okay. Lance, you're a guitar man. You listen to the guitar?
No, I listen to the drums.
Because you grew up in WD.
I grew up in Belmont.
Belmont. Listen to the drums again. Press play. Listen to the drums. Stop. Stop. What do you notice about that drum? The snare drum. You all know the snare drum? Play it one more time. Pop, pop.
From the beginning.
song. Pop, 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 pop. We all know this about a snare drum. Kaba, you're blocking my board. Thank you very much, Mr. President. In music, Marla, you want to help me? There's a thing called swing. You want to help me, Marla? There's a thing called swing. And there's another thing called groove. Which, Pinna, pass the mic to Pinna. Like so
The first thing I heard in this song is the guitar.
I'm talking about the drum. The drum is what
But
tells
I'm saying
you.
the first thing I heard in it before.
Yes, but the
drum is
guitar would not tell you it's from Trinidad. The drum, the swing. Yeah.
That will tell you it's from Trinidad?
The swing. Because the snare drum does not come right down on the metronome. It holds back and sometimes it goes forward. And similarly, when people sing from Trinidad, the meter, how you sing. All right, let me get a song. Abijah, give me a strain. Remember strain?
Well, I have this great big burden that I'd have to bear. But no matter how it happens, I still have it here. They won't divide the pie equally, give each man a share. Once you pamper, you think that it is.
Now, if you notice, almost every line for Abijah drops right back on the beat. Somebody asked for jazz earlier. In Trinidad, not everything's drop back on the beat. Find for me Figaro, Flowers. Figaro? What's her name? Tiny? Kinte. What is the name the lady who sang Flowers? Tiny. Tiny. Flowers. And why I'm explaining these things to you, when we talk about creativity, originality, all these things, you have to look for these things. Because everybody is not going to sing the same way. And you have to look to see how people are swinging, how people are jazzing up. Mind me wait and Tiny, will it? Pick any song and jazz it up a little bit.
Oh yes, I want to go home. Come, my friends, come with me. I want to go home. I'm tired and I'm sleepy. Hey, I want to go home.
Now, do you all notice his meter was different from Abijah meter? Do you notice he was holding back from dropping back down? Because that's how he sings. Any song, if you go listen to any John Duggan song, he sings different from Iper. He sings different from Abijah. Abijah would quicker come down on the beat. And Patches is the man who swings the most and grooves the most. Patches, wake up. Ring the bell, Patches. Give you ring the bell.
Say something here, Scott. You made a point. I don't know how much you're in tune with certain things, but I could bear me out. And Tajo, we're singing with graduates. The only person who has a different drum beat is who?
Well, I always have different everything.
What I'm trying to say here, Scotty, every song that is sung, which is several songs, in our tent, they use one drum pattern. But I understand what you're saying. Because I have already organized in my mind, I'm going to ask them to program a particular drum beat for me because of the song I'm singing. I want to hear a particular thing. And one more thing. We have a problem today, the guys who play music and who sing. The point that the brother made over there, Scotty, we don't get a lot of that where you would have the brass and the keyboard or the guitar. It don't happen. Scotty, it don't happen a lot. It don't happen a lot. It don't happen a lot.
The scarcity of brass man in St. Vincent, yeah, it's deplorable. I can tell you something, right? We are compromising our music in St. Vincent all because we don't have enough musicians to accompany the Calypsonians. The dedication. I tell you something, right? We go to an arranger and he would write for a tenor sax, alto sax, a trombone, first and second trumpet. So at least you're supposed to have 5 pieces of brass. But when you go in the band room, sometimes you get 1 brass man, the trumpet alone. And if you're lucky, you get 2. We got 2 to carry through the season, which is what he's playing, a tenor sax. Yeah. He playing a tenor sax, and he playing and we have a trumpet. And the tenor sax really is the another representation for the trombone. It is wholly low notes. And trombone and trumpet play similar notes. Yeah.
I just came back from Brooklyn, and my good buddy Frankie did some horn parts for me. He did 4 different parts. The 10th I'm singing in could only play 2. 2. So these are reality. The problems with the brass has been going on for over 40 years. Abby could bear me out, Ipa Tajo, because we cannot get no brass men to fulfill the voids that we have. Since Toussaint days, we've been having a problem with brass men. And so we have that great problem, and I don't know how it would be solved because I still see the future coming with the same thing. There was a man out Mespo who was training some young people to play brass. He died suddenly. I forget his name, but we have a problem. Yeah, he died. Yeah. We have a problem. So we have to find a way of solving that. Scotty, if you get on board a little deeper, maybe you could help me solve them.
I've been working on that. So hopefully, yeah. Go ahead, Lance, go ahead.
Well, I want to say this. None of you know this about me. But I'm going to give you a little indication of where I've been. I used to have a 7-piece orchestra. I played in all the big clubs in Montreal, Canada. And I only had 2 brass men, trumpet and sax. And in those days, and I think to this day, you can do that very easily if you have the imagination. And what is happening with us, we lose imagination in our conglomeration. So we need expansion.
Put in a brass stone for me.
But most of all Otis Redding, all of them guys, James, they got bigger after a while, but it was only 2 people, trumpet and sax.
All right, so we're talking here now about arrangement. In our competition, in our Calypso competition, there's not a separate category for arrangement. In Barbados now, they have arrangement, and there's a debate whether to take it out. But arrangement, in our case, will help inform the melodic structure. So we tend to pay attention, and Kente is shaking his head. In Trinidad, the same thing? The mic for Kente. People online have to hear.
I want to go back to the bass structure.
Yeah, go ahead.
What is happening since we have the soca music into the calypso? Those patterns change a lot. I may start my song, which is a calypso, on the bass playing a soca pattern, which is not the original pattern that the bass used to play before. We used to play like doom, follow, follow, follow. Now we're not playing that anymore. Some singers still stick to the original calypso pattern where the bass play one way. And we who are into the soca, sometimes the bass play a different way. So that is happening now in the calypso. We have so much different styles coming through. Even the soca style.
Hold on. Don't move so fast.
Yes.
Because we're using terminology.
Yes.
And sometimes people miss the terminology because a lot of people use the word genre when in fact it's styles they're talking about.
Styles, yes.
Right?
Yes.
So style. Marla, you want to help me with style? Oh, you want to deal with food? All right. Go ahead, Kinte.
Because when I listen to Patch's song, the bass in Patch's song does not start as the original style calypso. It's somewhere else. It's new music, and we as writers, we are trying to make the music more palatable to the young people now. So we're trying to get away from the old swing of the bass, yes, boom, boom, and we're having patterns. So the music will always sound different.
And you use the term swing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
Kinte, thanks
Thank you very much.
Let me give Kinte a round of applause for that presentation, man. Very good. Excellent. Right. Now, in looking at the melody, we pay attention to the arrangement. And brass is a funny thing in St. Vincent because not many people are exposed to brass. In fact, more people are familiar with keyboard brass. And the reality in our tent, as Ipa said and Patrick said, our brass is that. Well, give me some keyboard brass. Play a touch song, man. Make these for you. Right. My point is, if you have one problem, you don't wait and so on. We probably need to consider if we should be using some keyboard brass along with the live brass until we get over.
Kinte, I would like to ask this question, because everybody here who sing calypso could bear me out. When last you had live brass, real brass, authentic brass, genuine brass, going into a studio to record? Kinte, does they still do that in Trinidad? Carry live brass in Trinidad in the studio?
Yes.
Or do you use just keyboard brass?
You can pay for your live brass, because remember the studios now basically coming from computers. So when we go in, we pay extra money to get two persons to play on your recording. Because what happens is that you get a saxophone who can play both parts, and I get a trumpeter who can play both parts, first and second. Yeah.
Well, I'm looking for a song, if I find it. Here it is. Monty, open a file list called 2024. Play any song. The point I want to draw to your attention, live brass, no, you can get it almost indistinguishable from computer programs now. There are advanced sampling where you can program every single note, which I do. If you come to my studio, I do it for you. Or you can mask it with live ons. For example, there's a song that Willis worked on for this year for St. Vincent. It's not a calypso. It's not in any competition. But he arranged all of the brass and played them synth. And the live people came in and played on top of it. And he's in it too. But we have a brass problem in St. Vincent. And we should not make 2026 come around unless we fix that problem. But what I want the judges to pay attention to is what the horns is trying to do and what the arrangement is trying to do. Because if we have real good horns, there are things that can be done. Now, if you follow the tradition which Frankie McIntosh created, using the Spanish horns, which is not the original form of horns in Calypso. Frankie McIntosh is who changed that. I don't know how many of you know that, right? Unquestionably, he is who changed the horn arrangement and the horn playing. He is the person who introduced playing all these high parts. Before, in Calypso, they didn't play high part horns. They played them down in the middle. He is the man who expanded the range of instrumentation and began to add sixths and ninths and sevenths, right? To change it and make the horns sound like, you hear what Willis has played? Play it one more time, Willis. Right, you hear the last, bap? Huh?
All I've been playing is just unison. All that is just unison, but the last note is the pretty high note, which is not normal for brass.
Exactly, but what it does is stretch the imagination. Press, let me see if that one have any good hands in the play. Play, go ahead. This is for Barbados Crop Over 2025. I produce it. Stop. Yeah, stop. We're asking hyper.
I was asking if live horns is in it.
Those are horns that are sampled, but every note had to be programmed. So if you all know what's called a duet, you all know what's called a duet? No. Any trumpet man in here? That's when the trumpet goes, prap! And you all know what's a fall? A fall? Yeah, prap! And you all know it's legato and staccato. You have to program every note. John? You're the trumpet man, John. Go ahead.
Yeah. And the staccato is like when you attack the note, and you get that distinct pack.
Now, as judges, you have to know all of these things to give a fulsome assessment. Otherwise, what you'll be doing, a man put in all the effort, pay money, and because somebody singing thing and the crowd jumping up, you're going down the road. Come, press play one more time. Let me listen to the live ones. The live ones, the live ones. These are computerized horns. Every single note I program. Thank you. And Bell was there, so Bell could vouch for me. Bell, you want to say anything? Make sure you're alive, Bell. All right. Next group. Yeah, go ahead.
Just before you get off of the hands. What we used to do with Rebels, Denny, right? If you notice, we used to just use a trombone and a trumpet.
Explain to them.
Right? And what
Men used to mix Rebels.
Right. What we used to do, we do something on the effect we call doubling.
Yes.
So we double up the trombone and we double up the horn.
Yes.
The sack, the trumpet.
Yeah.
And it become
four. Yes.
Right? Not fat. You're getting like two. You're hearing two of each. That we call doubling.
Yes.
And we back all those Trinidadian Calypsonian with the two.
Johnny and
Denny.
Yeah.
And then what we did, we mixed it with William playing and singing with the horns and the keyboard, the pads. So horn here should not be a problem if you know what you're doing in the tent.
It's you say so, no, let me say so.
No, but if you have good engineer who could do the doubling. Well, I was in the tent, and what I noticed, the tent had a lot of brass, but you couldn't differentiate where the sax, the trombone, or the trumpet, because I don't know why is the problem there. Because
well, we have a brass problem in St. Vincent, and this is something that we detected 40 years ago. It's actually give rise to the model of touch. Touch, realizing the deficiency in horns, decided that we would do our own horns on keyboards. I had to start thinking like a horn man, like a horn side, and play many parts in one shot. So it would sound like I had to get special keyboards We tried to be programmed specially to give that tone. Of course, it didn't replace horns totally. I mean, you would know, if any keen listener would know, this is keyboard horns. Regardless of how good the keyboard player is, how much you think he's a horn man. You know, there are some things that you just can't do with a keyboard. But, and Touch recognizing that. We never thought that the keyboard horn was the end it be all. When we had our road gigs, we brought horn men to St. Vincent from Trinidad. Unfortunately, we had to do that because we couldn't find them here. And of course, we had Colin King, who for some reason was no longer available to us. But clarinet and saxophone. When Colin initially was a clarinet player, and one Friday we brought a saxophone, and by Saturday Colin was playing sax with the band. You know, he's that kind of a genius.
Thank you very much, Will. Mr. President, John, we're moving on. Sorry, you'll get a chance. Mr. President, it is the ruling. We have a brass problem, and we need to put our efforts together to address the brass problem between now and next year. And it would also affect the quality of the judging. Because if judges cannot decipher what the brass is playing, a man or a woman is going to get punished because the elaborate arrangement, you can't hear it, which if that Beckett song we played, for example, Carnival History, if a sax player is supposed to play that and they ain't play that, it ain't the same thing. Okay, let me give a lesson another.
Sorry to hog the mic, but you see, I have a passion for brass. And as a judge, I struggle sometimes. And I'm not knocking the few good brass players we have here, but I tell you, on competition night sometimes, I wonder if all brass men in St. Vincent tune their instruments. Because a note is a note, a C is a C. And three people can't be playing a C with a flattened cent and a sharpened cent and so on. And why I say this is because a year ago, Scotty, we brought some fellas here from Barbados, and I was ashamed that they were speaking among themselves and saying, but you know the brass men, when we tune in our instruments, they ask me what we're doing. You know, and so I just bought them a beer and hush up.
Let me just say one more thing here. Well, it's like you are hogging the mic. Graduates have 2 brass men. On tour have 3. Upstage have 5. You see the disparity? So just what Scott is saying and Willis is saying is a serious implication on the outcome, because the musicians play a role in your presentation of your song and the support of your song. If 1/10 have 5, 1 have 3, and 1 have 2, there must be a disadvantage.
So something, Mr. President, I want to take note that we need to be thinking about standardization. You can't have 1/10 have no brass and another 10 have 5. The singers in 1/10 is going to have a problem, right? And what we want to do is that we want to improve the art form. We want to give everybody an equal chance. And these things are not difficult to fix. They're not difficult. And I see my partner Ezzy from CDC. I don't know if you know the official thing, but these are the kinds of things I'm sure the CDC would like to hear. Not in June, but probably in September, right, Ezzy? Yeah, in September, right, Kaba? Huh? Well, all your clock. Who was asking for the mic?
Brother Scott, just before you move on.
Go ahead.
Patches, I was in the tent, I heard all 3 of them. To me, if I was a judge, With those 5 brass, I was not hearing the differentiation between all of them. The song, all of them song the same to me. I wasn't hearing the sax different, and the parts they playing, I wasn't hearing anything different. As a judge, you was not at a disadvantage, for, in my opinion.
Well, okay, so it's not a talk about brass, but I said before that I had 2 brass men, trumpet and sax, and we did all them stuff together. But anyhow, I want to say this. We were the judges at this point of a song. And since it's a judges workshop, I'm going to say this to you. I personally did not write on the score sheet, but for the song Akiasi, I estimated the lyrics, the melody, the rendition, and the presentation, and the originality. And I am sure when I said that I started first, I gave it 28 points for lyrics. Denise, who was on the same thing, Tim said, I had given it 27. And I'm sure Abijah and John Duggan and Kinte would agree with all this here. So we had, I think, without all the formal training that you judges have had, I think we managed to do a very good job.
Thank you very much, Lance. The first judge is you. When you decide to sing a song, when you decide to take certain lyrics, when you decide to use certain melody, you're judging yourself. Right, John Duggan, you speak the truth, eh? Don't speak nothing else.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just saying, I was listening to the conversation about brass men in St. Vincent. I'm a brass man. I come up through the police band. And I could remember we had brass men. We used to export brass men. We used to send people to Trinidad. We used to send people to Antigua. I went to Antigua to play brass because they come here to look for brass men. Barbados, we used to go and play brass over there. So I don't understand how this deterioration in brass men. You know, when the police cadets was operating, training brass men, we had plenty brass men. Then they cut out the cadets and start a different program. I think that's the problem. I think that's the problem. They stop the training and they just bring in other people on. No cadets again. Yeah, no cadets. When I was a cadet, you used to train you, bring you in and train you. And you used to have brass men like crazy. We used to export brass men. I was one. I'm a living example. I was touring. They used to come here and collect us and beg for permission to go overseas. So I don't know what the problem is with that. You know, there's something.
Yeah,
that's my 2 cents.
Just to let you know, is that exportation of brass men why I became a musician. Because my brother, Oscar Scott, was one of those who went to play with the Viscount and went on with Bill O'Malley.
Viscount in Antigua, I remember Oscar.
Yeah, yeah.
I played with him over there too.
Huh?
I remember him.
Yes, yeah, he's still there and so on. All right, we have to move on. We go now to, well, before I do that, there's anyone who didn't get to say anything that want to say something? 1, 2, 3. No. But I want you to acknowledge the presence of Leighton. You all know Leighton. He is from, Pastor Michael, let's introduce himself. He came in a little late. Huh? Leighton, yes. He always late. We call him late. See, always late. Yeah, introduce yourself.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. My name is Leighton Adams. I'm from Chateaubelair. I'm a music producer. And
Calypso writer too, man. Come on.
Yeah, I'm a songwriter. Not just Calypso. I'm a songwriter also. I'm a teacher and a coach. Yeah.
He play everything. He play everything. Keyboard, bass, guitar, hyper. You don't play brass.
Keyboard, yeah. Practice bass, practice sax.
Man, you play everything. Behave yourself. The Vincentian, people tell you don't play. Hear them. Vincentian is enough. Don't blow your own trumpet. So you must pick up John Duck trumpet, we don't spit in, and put by your mouth. You blow your own trumpet. There's nothing wrong.
You could change your mouthpiece and play the trumpet, isn't it?
Liz, is there anything you want to say? How are we going so far?
The workshop is very informative for somebody new like me. So it's enlightening workshop for me. Yeah.
Yeah. And pass the mic to Ezzy. Let Ezzy bring some greetings.
Yeah. Well,
Where are you, Ezzy?
yeah, workshops like these are very important. So although I have a very busy schedule today, I decided to drop in and just be around for a few minutes and just follow what's happening. And so far, that short space of time that came, a lot of information has been shared. And I think that persons here would benefit from information shared one way or the other, be it from the persons who are officially the facilitators, or from, just participants sharing their ideas and what has happened in the industry and where we head into. I think it's important. This is an important exercise.
All right.
Thank you.
Ezzy. Will, give me Sexy and Irie now. Sexy and Irie. While we go ahead, late.
With regards to the previous conversation.
Yeah, go ahead.
With regards to the previous conversation with the decline in the brassmen, we probably could try tap into the schools to teach. Start teaching brass.
Yeah. So what we're saying is that as soon as Carnival done, we would sit down with the relevant people, the National Cultural Foundation, the CDC, and see what we could do with the Ministry of Education. Right, Marla? You watching me over there with a cutter, right? And see what we could do, because we need to do something. We need to do so. We can't just be sitting down and playing dead, because nobody going to fix it unless we fix it. That's what I'm saying. We're going to do something. We're going to do something. Remember, you discussed this with the Prime Minister already, Hold on. I'll bring one of the mics so people here. Okay, well, go ahead. Man, Patches go fix that for you, man. You don't worry. Patches will go ring the bell and fix that for you. Patches go ring the bell and fix. All right, Will, we go work on it. Will, let me get a little raga. Imagine a judge afraid to sing. Come on, let's sing something.
I always love you, but I cannot let you go. You're sweeter than I know, Tamika. Dum dum da 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 la 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 la.
Dun dun da 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 dun dun da 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 da. Dun 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 da 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 dun 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 da 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 da.
Wow, you see the kind of quality behind this country? We are be proud of we producer. Don't make nobody tell you we ain't going away. If we have a challenge, we go fix it. We go fix our brass problem.
Our biggest challenge, man.
Ipa, save that for when the bell ring. Next group.
Our biggest challenge is that people don't want to identify with things and changes, because we've been suffering this drought for a very long time. Will they say 40 years? Patches say 40 years. And I agree that 40 years drought we have. And long ago, when I go into school 50 years ago, we used to have music festivals. We used to have choral speech. We used to have people going and play a little clarinet. Music was on the school's curriculum those days. Now these days you didn't have nothing like that. So that is where you're getting the jolt from, because they take the music off the school's curriculum and everything gone bash. That's the problem.
Well, one day, Patrick called me. He said, listen, Scotty, I tired singing for them little change. I want my money increase.
Job, you shake up Ezzy and them, man. Ezzy and Mr. Adams, Scotty did a great job on the program we have every Monday. And Scotty voice came out and Marvel here, and we get a couple more dollars. Yeah, we get a couple more. So thanks again, Scotty.
So we go fix the problem. Yeah, Virgo.
Well, I've been talking about the brass. I've been singing Calypso since I was a boy. And let me tell you, this problem with the brass, that is one of the reasons why I left Calypso. Good. I love Calypso a lot. And I still, I never give anybody my songs to sing because I'm a judge. And I know that could create a bias. But I have a book of Calypsos written nearly every year, write one and keep it. But in my time, I remember when I go to sing, there was a certain brass man who used to tell me, you sing in F. I can't play in that. Play in this key here. So one part of my song was like if it's choking me, and the other part, like it's straining me. You understand? You understand? And I'm telling you, that was the problem all the time, and I don't want to say that we are going backward. It is not correct to say that. I mean, we have to really anticipate good times coming and all that. But I think something needs to be done when it comes to the playing of instruments in this country, and there should be some work put in place to have proper training and all that.
No, Lance, we have to move on. No, Lance, we have to move on. No, Lance, we have to move on. Lance, we have to move on, Lance. And Lance in Parliament, people, we have to move on. Next group, please. Lance, we have to move. Next group. Press play, let's go. Press play, let's go.
Olympics qualifier, and I am spectacular.
Hola, hello. I'm Andreina Bermúdez de Lorenzo. I am the academic coordinator of the Venezuelan Institute for Culture and Cooperation.
Come on, Monty, come on. What's happening? Hold on. What's the song? Stop.
The song is Blessings by Black Adam.
That's the song.
And we look at his Grenada live performance.
So we need the live performance.
We look at the live performance for Spice
Yeah, hold on. Yeah. We need Black Adam live in Grenada. Soca Monarch.
Yeah, but it ain't showing up.
Yeah, we could put it up there. I don't know what Monty doing. Play it there and put it up there so that they could see it. Never mind, they see it like 2 seconds behind. Just mute the song there. You look for it, you wait till you start together.
Blacker!
Hold on till you start together. Turn on the projector. While we wait, Lance, you could make your point because we have a sting.
Okay, because we were talking about brass, and I felt I had to say this. Last year, where is Ezzy? Last year.
No, don't do Ezzy that.
I sang a song
Lance,
called Wait, no man.
Lance,
Oh
don't do
God,
Ezzy
wait. I sang a song called Jackass, and I wrote Jackass in the key of C sharp. No, you're talking about brass. I wrote Jackass in the key of C sharp. And
Mute this song. Mute this song.
This year, because of the resistance to playing in C sharp, because C sharp is a hard instrument, a hard key for brass. This year, I sing a song called It Ain't Gonna Be Always So, and I wrote it in B flat. Tell them why I write it in B flat, because B flat is the easiest key to play in brass. True or false? Sure, but I don't want to sing it now because unless I have to.
No, we're going blacker down. You'll get a chance to sing it just now.
Because I have the backup track too.
Yeah, thank you, Lance. And you only man with the song name it ain't be so happen. That copyright infringement, Lance. Only pulling your leg.
All right, play.
Locker down.
We need this help urgently.
Oh, white one. Oh, Master is ill. Ever since the Queen left, we're in dire need of your assistance. Can you please help us?
Take me to the king at once. What tea have you been giving the king? Bushy. Rubbish. First you need some self-love. Then you need some courage, happiness also. A lot of blessings and continuous blessings. 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 What do you see, my king?
I'm starting to see my way.
You go spread the word. Make them know that they can overcome any obstacle. And any tragedy could also become a blessing. Bambadam, oh Lord!
Stadium, this groovy night is a blessing. Bambadamo, Bambadamo, Lord. See my ex with a new man. Feel like she new brand. We inside a session. Party kicking up hard. She put up she 2-1. Whining back on the man. You think I give a damn? You're mad. The day you live. The day you live. I started to see my way. When you hurt me and went away. What I thought was a tragedy. The day you up and leave us all the same. I'm feeling so blessed, oh yes. When you leave us all the same. Got my hands up, I'm whining low. Glad you go, like I never happened. My hands up, I'm whining low. Glad you go, and I don't want you to know. When you walk out the gate, all of the good you create. Like I start to elevate, walk out the gate, and no debate. Life gets straight and great like you want to it. So glad I procrastinate. Look on my right hand, amputate. I remember the date, because I hate. Guess I say it all not a state. The day you live, the day you live. I started to see my way. When you hurt me and went away. What I thought was a tragedy. Hey, the day you up and leave us a blessing. A blessing. I'm feeling so blessed. Oh yes.
All right, so we were looking at soca, and we know this really fall in the category of raga soca, or what they call groovy, but in any way it's still soca, because the competition that he won in Trinidad was basically open. firstly, we look at the concept of the song, the theme, and we felt that the intro video did not really complement, in our opinion, the concept of the song. I don't know if Grenadians, I don't know if they had a different concept, but as a creator, as a man who do presentations, I don't think the introductory video.
Tajo, I tell you, blow your own trumpet. As a man, tell the people what you do, man. People listen all over the world. Explain to people what you do.
All right, so I have an associate degree in performing arts. So basically, this is one of my hallmark. I do a lot of drama, and for what you see for Fireman over the last couple of years, I do most of Fireman's presentations. Yeah, so we find that the concept that he presented in terms of for his introduction didn't really match up this song. I think he could have done something within people's experience that people could have relate to. Our hard and everyday disappointments. I didn't see this. And secondly, I don't think the costuming in terms of what he wore on stage was appropriate for a song like this. His performance, I think, was a bit drawn out. You didn't see the whole video. I think that was too long and drawn out in terms of his performance. He did a lot of talking. This song had a slow build up with the patrons. I don't know if it came out late and people really wasn't into the song. And I was saying, we were discussing that this is one of the songs that blew up after the Soca Monarch. I don't know if it's because Trinidad people gravitate towards it and the DJs. I think they really helped to blow up the song. So it wasn't a big song in Grenada. It's Trinidad really the song actually blew up. His energy on stage, I think, was not as high as it should have been for a song like this, and in terms of his performance. And mind you, he didn't win this competition. Boys, he actually won that competition. Lyrically, I think this song was strong lyrically. I think he had an excellent melody. Is one of the songs that has really resonated with me this year. The arrangement, I think the arrangement was great as well. And the crowd response wasn't it wasn't a 10 out of 10 in our opinion. Again, I don't know the factors if the song came out late and a lot of people did not know the song. As I said, it was one of those songs that has a built up after Carnival. And we have had this experience in St. Vincent. There are some songs, you hear them in the Carnival, but they get big after the Carnival season. So basically, that's what we took away from this performance.
All right, thank you very much, Tajo. And yeah, Tajo has been making a tremendous contribution in that element. Later on this evening, we would speak to that. Let me hear from my friend here before we come to you, Marla.
I wanted to ask you, you said that his attire or the entire performance attire wasn't appropriate. I wanted to ask you, what about that wasn't appropriate?
My question was kind of similar. What would you have deemed appropriate for something like this?
I would have used modern day dress code in terms of showing how he would have moved from being disappointed in terms of what transpired to showing success. In my opinion, in our modern day Western thing, I think a jacket and tie would have been more appropriate to show success in terms of what we know in terms of our dress code. So even when we do a fireman presentation, we put a lot of emphasis on how what he wear on stage as it relates to the concept of what he's presenting. So like the rule of the land, you notice that he has what Black Adam had there was basically what we conceptualized from royalty standpoint for rule of the land, because he was singing about he being in reference to being a king, the king of soca. So that blended well in terms of his what he wear on stage, what we use as props and so on to give him that element. For me, it should have been maybe like a table, sitting in maybe in an office, probably an office setting, showing success. You think in Western, yeah, yeah, I think in Western.
While I could agree with you on that, I could beg to disagree with you as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I can tell you something. I of the opinion that this brother here trying to use the African descent. Because I can tell you something here. We were kings in Africa, and that's how we used to look. Because the first thing I was looking at, not even here as much, is the woman asks Patches. I say, what a woman, he got Patches. When the man come off the stage, the first thing I tell you is what?
Yes, watching the girls.
Right. So, that is a part of the blessing. And when I see she look regal, and I don't know, because this man has his own concept of how he dealing with it. You understand what I'm saying? So while you might look at a jacket and tie as being just and successful and appropriate, I might beg to differ. It's like what I saw, what you call it, the president of Ukraine. He went by the White House.
In his army.
In his fatigue. And I had to call him a dunce. Because he can't even understand that the man, he at war. And asking the man, why you don't put on a jacket and tie? Marla, you are this maker from all of this, right? Yeah. So, as much as I will understand from you how you thinking, we also have to go and have an idea for what this man is thinking. And don't make Western attire make you feel that you're supreme because you got a jacket and tie. We were kings walking. You look at when people, we name go Saudi Arabia the other day. You know what them guys have on the foot? Slippers. You understand? Good.
Yeah, so just to piggyback on the same point, right? I was going to talk around that. And I was going to say that I think it's a reflection of the thought process of the creators, the people who write, who produce the presentations and so on, and then also the thought process of the judges and how they ought to be. Because as a creator, you have to think about, boy, is this the best way? Would it be the clearest way? Will people get the message? But then as a judge, you need to be open-minded and have the ability to think laterally, to think about different possibilities and, okay, maybe this is what he might be trying to communicate, or maybe it's this. Because like the same way Ipa talked about the African tradition, but in my mind, when I saw him, I said, oh, he looked like Sado them when they're portraying Gary Funa. So is it that he is getting across the point of resilience? Yeah, you might have your challenge with women and so on, but you need to draw on that resilience to think and see the blessing in it. Is it that? Because if that's the way he's thinking, then the appropriate is attire. So I'm just saying that I think it's a reflection of how we are too as judges think. Try to be open and try to think most broadly.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ezzy.
Yeah, I just want to make a quick contribution on that presentation from Blackadan. I was in Grenada for that Soca Monarch. I was actually in the stadium. As Tajo said, which was correct, he didn't get a wow type of response from the audience. I too didn't hear the song a lot being played in Grenada as one of the top songs during that time. So that could have affected the response of the people. But it also says that when artists are making songs, you have to consider the lifespan of the song. Because what happened with him is a success story, where in Grenada, the song was not a big song. He participated in competition, and he didn't win. But the song made a 360. It went to Trinidad, became one of the biggest songs in Trinidad. I too was in Trinidad for Carnival, and every fete, every party, every van, every car pass was playing the song. It was probably it was one of the biggest songs in Trinidad, and he ended up winning the competition, got $1 million, right? So it says to us that a good song, the lifespan would be there too. You know, you enter one competition, it didn't work, you continue. And it also said that he learned from maybe the errors that Tajo identified, because the presentation in Trinidad was different.
You're teething me, Ezzy. So with that, with that now, let's look at the winning performance, and we will have lunch, and then we'll come back. All right? So we'll look at the winning performance, and then we'll have lunch, right? This is Trinidad performance. Everything Tajud said, I agree with. And in this performance, he corrected all of them. Everyone he corrected. So if you know, so he started with like a choir with a so on. Monty, what you doing? Like he laying it up there, Monty. Pull it back and like he put it down over there. You want to hear it good or not? Pull it back. And he would sing it up first.
That was my right, alright. I never thought I could have let it out. When she knocked me off, I thought it was a tragedy. But boy, it was the biggest blessing ever.
Well, for me in 2023, I would have lost my job at the end of the year, and that in itself was a real tragedy. But in coming out of 2023 into 2024, I would have gotten the opportunity to become the CEO of the company, and that in itself was an amazing blessing. And ever since then, I've always been thankful.
Listen to me, ever since that man gone, my skin started clear up. Look, I used to get a bit shaky back on my skin. Look at it now. I don't know from toenail. You know what toenails are grow back? Ever since I get rid of that heavy spirits, boy, is a blessing. It's a blessing.
personal. Sometimes we focus on the tragedies and we fail to see the blessing in our islands. Can I showcase some cultural blessings? Right here in Trinidad and Tobago and Grenada. Is that okay? Showcase some blessing. Bring on the blessing. Bring on the blessing. Bring on the blessing. Bring on the blessing. Cultural blessing. Hey, hey, hey. Blessing. Hey. Give it up and leave us. Blessing. I'm blessing. I'm feeling. Oh yes. When you leave us, I'm blessing. I'm blessing. I'm not handsome. Oh, I didn't.
Now, I want you all to notice this, right? This is a problem I have with every my Vaughan patches at Charlie outside. This is a problem I have with every carnival activity in St. Vincent. From the time that man do that, he don't score maximum points for presentation. And here the funny thing is now, the first place in this part of the world, they saw these things at Carnival was right here in 1770 something. First place. Right? The most we know about the stilt walker or the Moko Jumbi is about here, right here in St. Vincent. Detail account with every move, and there's where the law and there's where people study in universities. So we need more of these things in our presentation. Look at that. Here we say cultural blessing. But here man will say, boy, you want a monkey band for me, ain't sing about a monkey band. Where you want a whining donkey band for, we ain't sing about. And these are the things we have to encourage, right? And these are the things, judges, that we need to give serious consideration to. These are the kinds of things. Look at that. Everything about this presentation here, you couldn't beat him. And there's a point that Kinte made, which I'm going to send you off on lunch. He reminded me, and as he made the point too, but in a different way, that you have so many parties in Trinidad. And by the time he came on the stage, he don't sing this song but 200 times. We have a problem in St. Vincent. A tent only having 3 shows. We have a problem. We have to find a way to fix it. Whether we're going to do karaoke out Sandy Bay, whether we're going to do a live program in WFM on a Saturday night, or we're going to buy nice radio, we cannot continue having 3 shows for a tent. They're going to kill you. Because when you're a Calypsonian,
preliminary only, because again, I could be the brass man. You remember one show we had? Just the preliminary. The brass man didn't turn up.
So because as a Calypsonian, and even as judges, you go to the tent to judge only, and then the only time you're going to hear what's going on. You can't do a good job. You have to be going, you have to be part of it, understand what's going on, figure out, okay, the brass man ain't playing the tune good, and so on. Yeah, Abijah will have the last word before Kaba send me to. Abijah is going to have the last word before Kaba send us to lunch, and Willis and Mikey will take us to lunch with blessings.
Yeah, yes, Dr. Scott. I hear you mention something about these cultural thing that we had here and has disappeared. And so I remember as a little boy, all these things and so. I see something that is creeping into our Calypso finals that to me shouldn't be there. In Trinidad, when people sing in Calypso and so in the final, we see they have some woman in the back thinking up this skirt or whatever, and so dancers. And I see a thing creeping in here where some of our Calypsonians are adapting that. The dancing thing has nothing to do with the song and the presentation, and we just see the dancing up and thing behind that and so on, and neglecting our culture. You know, I mean, if you're singing about a doctor and you have a doctor behind there or something, I could see that. But I see a trend here that Calypsonians seem to think that is the way to go because Trinidad are doing it with these flay-skirt people dancing up and thing and so on. And I mean, it's creeping in, and I hope it is not to the detriment of our traditional culture.
Thank you very much. This is instructive. He and I went grammar school the same day, so he passed in the torch to me. Many of you may not know that, but we went in the same class the same in grammar school. Yes, it is indeed a blessing, because lunch is here. So, bless up the place, Willis and Kitten, not Kitten, Lion. You're too long, you're too long, Kitten. You're a lion now. You must go. So, you see the kind, you see where you have to give Cleve kudos, Dr. Scott? You're gonna dine with the most appropriate music, blessings in all forms. Go and name your lunch. You see? From standard English to colloquial. And thank you, caterers. We have fish and chicken, eh? So, well done again, Scotty, as always. Look at
Come, Kente, come.
1, 2. Before you play, this is a. I wanted this to be people a bit. Okay. This. Hmm? You ready? Where the boss man? Excuse me. This song I'm going to do. It's one of the new style we're trying to do. We're trying to shorten the songs to make them more entertaining. Bring it up a little bit. Why all this bickering? Why all this fuss and fight? Why can't we live together and unite? You say you're leaving, honey, you're going.
Because I just can't have one woman, I gotta have 3.
Goodbye, you're saying, and the children crying.
Because I just can't have one woman, I gotta have 3.
One woman who go pull me down, another woman who go lift me up. I need to have a woman who really don't give one. One woman killing me with one, another woman who go do no wrong. I need to have a woman who going to kick ass for she man. You say you're leaving, honey, you're treading. You see, I just want you remember, a broken heart don't last forever. Yes, you're going, children crying. You see me faith, I haven't Jaja. My broken heart won't last forever. No, this thing gonna keep on working. This thing gonna keep on working. This thing gonna keep on working. Oh yeah. This thing gonna keep on working. You say you're leaving, honey, you're treading. Because I just can't have one woman, I want to have three. Goodbye, you're saying, and the neighbors laughing. Because I just can't have one woman, I want to have three. One woman who go pull me down, another woman who go lift me up. I need to have a woman who going to stand up with she man. You say you're leaving, another woman. I need to have a woman who going to. You say you're leaving, honey, you're trotting. You see, I just want you remember, a broken heart don't last forever. Yes, you're going, children crying. You see me fate, I haven't Jaja. My broken heart wouldn't last forever, no. This thing gonna keep on working. Ah, this thing gonna keep on working. This thing gonna keep on working. This thing gonna keep on working. Well, anytime you walk out the door, I go call Denise, let she come over. And me and Jenny never fuss and fight. Anything that I do, she does feel alright. And when I want something nice to eat, I go call Shelly, she does cook real sweet. The middle of the night when I in the mood, I tell you any one of them they could. You say you're leaving, honey, you're trotting. You see the fate I have in Jaja. A broken heart won't last forever. Yes, you're leaving, the children crying. You see me fate I have in Jaja. My broken heart wouldn't last forever, no. This thing gonna keep on working. Ah, this thing gonna keep on working. This thing gonna keep on working. Ah, this thing gonna keep on working. 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 This thing gonna keep on working.
Yeah. You have to download it first. Anytime you're ready, Monty. Singing this to the judges once again. A paycheck will provide your needs. Necessity is not greed. You want more, you don't have enough. And your life is rough and tough. Ask yourself what to do to make your dreams come true. How do you change your condition to a positive situation? You may be down, but this you must know. It ain't gonna be always so. Notice I'm saying it ain't gonna be always so, not it won't always be so. You must do what you can to prepare a strategic plan. But do not get confused whenever you feel that you could lose. Do not use a cutlass to plan to try to make people understand. What I say? Here's what I said. This is hope, faith. When you lose your condition, tough situation, you may be down, but this you will know. It ain't gonna be always so. You stand at the threshold, you feel no heat or cold. You can either laugh or you can cry, but you're gonna live until you die. You came with nothing, and so you will go. But while you are here, let your love flow. change your condition to a positive situation. You may be down, but this you must know. It ain't gonna be always so. Now here it is. The path of the righteous man is beset on all sides by the selfishness of the selfish and the iniquities and the tyranny. But blessed is he who in the name of charity and goodwill shepherds the weak through the valley of the darkness, for he is his brother's keeper and the finder of lost children. Say that specifically. How do you change your condition to a positive situation? You may be down, but this you must know. It ain't gonna be always so. You can see your salvation, and you know that it's not an illusion.
Okay. You ready to continue? We had one more group. Was there another group? Was there another group? No? And who is that? Who? You? Okay. Go ahead with your presentation.
So, in the Raga Soca group, we looked at last year's Raga Soca Monarch winner, Hans John with Spectacular. And we looked at it from the new judging criteria for Raga Soca.
Proposed judging criteria.
Proposed judging criteria.
And you want to call out those in the meantime?
Yeah, so lyrics is 20, melody is 20, musical arrangement is 15, rendition and performance is 15, presentation, which is an addition I think now, is 10, originality is 10, and crowd response is 10 for a total of 100. Yeah.
You're waiting on Monty as usual.
Yeah.
What, you gave him the song?
Yeah, he has the song.
So you have to sync up, yeah.
Hugo Chavez Frias in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I am a Venezuelan diplomat.
So it starts off with like I think videos of women saying who they are and so forth, what they do.
Female panelist, pageant coordinator, radio announcer. I am spectacular.
I'm Cheryl Rodriguez, a Leo born, and I am spectacular.
Raga Soca Monarch!
I fell in love with the code. No, I fell in love with your waistline. Up close and personal like you want to FaceTime. Yeah, I'm feeling your energy like this baseline. Kinda shy, but the nigga have your brain. Rock out time, girl, you come out too. So tell the green light, spotlight, video light. It's your time to shine, darling. Just shine, darling. So tell me from mine. I do it for spite. It's your time to shine, darling. Everyone body. Oh man, you're spectacular. Tell me how you got so. To tell you I had to. Oh man, you're spectacular. Tell me how you got so. To tell you I had to. Come on, you're moving so. Hook me there. Hook me. You make all the lights go dim. And the waist calling, baby, move it so. Oh, you make all the lights. Listen, love how you show me your brain. Right up on your case, yeah. I wanna play with them thoughts in your head. Ain't no pretend. Please don't get me wrong. This feeling is so strong. Come let me create some memories. Don't take me from mine. Spotlight, video light. What is your time to shine, darling? Just shine, darling. Don't take me from mine. I do it for spite. It's your time to shine, darling. Everyone calling, woman, you're spectacular. Tell me how you bad, so to tell you I whoa, woman, you're spectacular. Yeah, yeah. How you bad, how you bad, how you bad.
Female Panis, pageant.
So, in terms of lyrics, and lyrics is out of 20, and the group gave a range of like 15 to 18, because they argued that it was both simple and straight to the point, but that could also be argued against why it dropped points as well. The melody, I think it was around the same range, around 18, around there, because it's catchy and so forth. Yeah, out of 20. We didn't do musical arrangement because based on the original song, there's not much arrangement that was done versus the performance. So we went to rendition and performance, and it was said that by someone that later on in the video, we didn't get to see it, he brought on Miss Jean Johnny Finley, and Renee Baptiste, and acknowledged them for their contribution in society and all of that. So that's what someone was saying, like, it's not what he did with that performance was not really in the song itself. And also, I found personally it took up a lot of time to the overall performance. Like, that part was very long, and it took away from the performance. In terms of presentation, it was a very simple presentation. As you can see, the background dancers and himself are dressed in white, and it's nothing really, but it's very simple, matches the song and so forth. Well, I don't know if he used an all-female cast of dancers because of the song itself, but he did do that. But something that was reflected in the discussion is that the song doesn't really reflect what the presentation was, essentially. But it was, for what the song was, it was good overall for everybody in the group. Time. We didn't have time within the group, one, and it wasn't like, because there wasn't anything done different, really different from the track itself. We just skipped down to get to the more, yeah.
If you had to give a point for the track itself, because the arrangement is really in the original production of the song, was how would you think that was, the arrangement overall? Not necessarily for the performance, but generally for the song.
Well, I can't speak for the group, but I will speak for myself. I would say that it matches the melody and the lyrics, the way how he crafted the lyrics and the melody. The actual musical arrangement matches that. It was just there. It matches the simplicity, and it matches the fact that he wants to get the message across in the plainest way. Women are spectacular in their own rights.
Well, I have a little problem with this song here, and since last year I've been seeing that. I asking myself how you could put spectacular and bad in the same line. Woman, how you spectacular. Woman, how you bad too.
Yeah, it's not the literal connotation of bad, because I would say
yeah, I get
he's
the
a
problem
bad
with that.
singer. Will is
Yeah.
a bad keyboardist.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
I mean, I understand your point in terms of
Okay, my dog. Okay, my dog. Okay, my dog. That kind of way there. Okay, my dog. I just have a problem with that. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm too old for this, boy. I think I'm too old for this. But, yeah, you my nigga, my dog. Yeah. Oh, you're spectacular, you're bad, too. Anyhow, I'm probably too old for that.
and I think it's also context, because he didn't speak about like her being anything yeah, like that. So
I think I would want to use a different word, though.
No, you can't dismiss Ipa point. Ipa is making a valid point. And let me tell you something I find with artists, right? Especially when they come to us, Willis and Mikey. A fella put down a line. Well, Ipa walk with me, Patrice walk with me, even Abijah. And I say, what do you mean by that? And they will forever never want to explain to you what they mean by that. If I have to ask you what you mean by that, it means you're not clear. And he's right, Ipa's right, that it would be better had you used a phrase which people don't have to fight to interpret. Because the song is not supposed to be a double meaning song where you want to sing something wordless, and therefore you use the closest word to the wordless.
This guy is it. This guy is. Your point is taken, Scotty. Your point is taken.
Yes, we know, but it's going way overboard. And me, I would mark you down for that as a judge, because it means literary. You're not using enough literary skills. And any kind of soca, calypso, it's like Beckett sing tone or horn for them, right? And the way he wrote tone is clearly about music. It's like a fella have a song about corn. Right? Y'all know the song about corn? It's the most ridiculous thing, because how you read from planting corn? Is you sing that song?
Long to see tongue.
Right, long to see tongue. That's okay, because you're long to see tongue. Touch. Right? And Willis would tell you, and Brian, and Eiffel, and Gideon, and Godfrey would tell you, we going to argue forever and tell you can't use the word. Yeah, yes, Enzi. Pass the mic to Enzi now. We have Derek. Derek, you hear me? Derek, if you hear me, hold up here. Okay. You hearing us? Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
We're coming to you. We're coming to you very shortly, Derek.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
For example, I produce a guy, right? And he used the word ass, right? And I told him, I don't think you'll get a lot of airplay by using the word ass. Why not use Ray? And he refused from change that word. What do you think about that?
But I'm agreeing with you. Because there's a difference between a record and a live performance and all of these things.
Yeah, and he was live too. He did it live.
And singing in a tent. And Chalky have a song, I Don't Rhyme. How many of you know that song? I Don't Rhyme. And that song's supposed to teach us a lot about writing, calypso, and creativity. Some people believe that they must put in the most ridiculous thing, and then they're going to complain it in playing on the radio, and they're going to complain people walking out, and so on. And judges, we have to judge based on the criteria. And in the criteria, lyrics is one category. And to share with us a different perspective, we have a colleague of mine from Barbados. For those of you who don't know,
Donkey for car. What do you think about that?
Man, you can't come in my studio with that. I hit delete. Yeah, I judged for several years in Barbados, and for the last 25 years or so, I've been the main commentator on radio and television. Derek, please introduce yourself. And we have here judges, we have here artists, media people, we have the whole spectrum here, and you are online across the internet and the diaspora. We're hearing you, Derek. Yeah, the spin around the computer to say you could pick up a little bit of the audience. But we all hearing you, we're all over. Go ahead. Well, instruments, you know. Tell about instruments you play to. And give them some songs that you walked onto. Yeah, hold on. Boys to Men, Barbados Boys to Men. Barbados Boys to Men, or In Sync. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Ipa, you have a question. You explain.
Well, something that baffled me a little bit what you said there a while ago is that you do musical arrangement, like writing out scores and so, but you don't play an instrument. I mean, that is kind of difficult for me to understand. But my partner Patches, who's sitting next to me, he say he know people who does that, who do just the theory part of music and not practically. So it kind of that one caught me off guard. I never really come across somebody who does that. You know, yeah. Be- okay, 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 okay. Something like a Bobby McFerrin. Something like Bobby McFerrin. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so go ahead. Yeah, so what we want to do is for you to go through the criteria in Barbados, judging criteria, and explain to us what you have been looking for all of these years. And then we would look at the sentence and criteria. You might have questions for to expand. Yeah, go ahead, go ahead. We're hearing you. So give the point breakdown. Go back slowly and give the point breakdown. Lyrics 35. Right. Okay. Stick up in there, Derek. Stick up in there. So what happens? What happens in Barbados then? And in Night City final, you're going to hear innovation in the arrangement. You hardly hear a song played the same way in the 10th and in the semi-finals and in the finals. So once you get selected to the finals, most persons go back to the arranger. Sometimes they add a bridge or they put in riffs and so on. Go ahead, Derek. Okay, you need to explain that because remember, not everyone here know the Bible is composition. The Picong, explain that. All right. Okay, hold on there. Kinte, you have to come in front so you go to and introduce yourself to Derek. Hold on, we have Kinte, he's from Trinidad.
Oh, good afternoon, sir. I'm from Trinidad. That doesn't matter. We're doing it with Calypso. My question is that as a writer, I think when we write a song, it's just lyrics on a piece of paper. Okay, words on a piece of paper. What turn it into a song is the melody.
Hold on, Kinte, you're talking too fast. Hold on. Go ahead, slowly.
Okay, I'm saying as writers, when we put lyrics on paper, it's just lyrics on paper. Until there is a melody, then we have a song. And when you take away points from the strongest part of my composition, where do I stand with that? For me, I think words on paper could turn into a poem, a story, or anything, a poetry, anything. But when you put melody, then we have a song that the band can play and stuff like that. And if you're weakening that in the competition, I think you are taking away from me. Can you explain that?
Yeah. Right. So hold it there. Point made. Hold it. What we want people to understand is that in different competitions you have different criteria. If you go to sing in the Trinidad competition or in the Antigua competition, and the criteria is really to help to cater for the local situation. In Barbados, right now, for the last much years, and I see on TV and radio, and we're going to repeat it, it is the biggest attendance for any Calypso show in the world, right? Year before, it was sold out. There was not a seat available. People couldn't get in. And last year, there was no less than 10,000 people. And with rendition, the reason is the vast majority, 99.9% of the persons are singers. And therefore, if singing is their strength, they want to emphasize that. If in St. Vincent we recognize the majority of our Calypsonians are not good singers, the question is, should you have a criteria that caters for the minority and not the majority? Derek, I don't know how you want to respond to that. Yeah. Right, excellent point. All right. So we have the Calypso criteria. Let's go to the soca criteria. Soca criteria. Wait, hold on. Okay, stick up in there again, Derek. We have a question from Hyper. You know Hyper? One Caribbean nation. Google that song. YouTube that song. Hyper.
Yeah. Derek, I was listening in the, different categories. I noticed you didn't have anything about originality. You do? You do? Yeah. What happening here for us? We most of the categories you spoke about, we have those categories as well. But I noticed very clearly that we have a category for originality which carry 15 points, you know, and but you don't have it. You don't have it as a category. You have it spread over the whole sheet. Okay, all right.
Okay, Derek, we have two more questions, Derek. We have DaVinci, put a smile on face, man. DaVinci. He sang a song named Don't Get Paranoid and Greetings from Victoria Park.
Yeah, it's something I noticed here in how you've arranged the judging criteria. It seems to me that the objective is to fit the judging to the decline of the quality of the composition, rather than emphasizing on the high standard of a material. That's what you've done to the soca. So consequently, the soca artist can just pump out any kind of thing, and you're judging it fairly.
You don't have to comment. You don't have to comment on everything, Derek. You don't have to comment on everything, Derek, because we want you to come here sometime to visit us, and we don't want nobody knocking you down in Kingston. We're going to Abidjan. Abidjan came second last year with Pirates of the Caribbean. It's on YouTube.
Yes, something that baffles me in the Calypso judging part for you. In lyrics and also in melody, what you have stated is that later on in the competition, you are reducing the points for lyrics, and I can understand if you have the same song, same lyrics, same melody, how you come about by reducing, that song that you have judged all year on. I can understand that part.
Yes, and perhaps that is why you get such large audiences. Perhaps that's why the attendance is so good over the last 20 years. Have been, Sancho's laughing. We have a question here from Marla. Marla is a panelist, writer, singer, and she's a judge. Marla?
Yes, hi Derek. I wanted to ask about the category of melody being one of the most heavily weighted. And also there's usually a lot of discussion about what constitutes a good melody. So do you have a rubric perhaps that you use on your side that you can share in terms of breaking down what constitutes a good melody? We've had some discussion on the fact that, well, if you can walk away singing the melody, it's a good one. But we do know also, on the other hand, for example, a melody set in the melodic minor may not be as beautiful, quote unquote, as something in a major key. It may be more difficult to sing, so you may not be able to walk away singing it as easily. But does that mean it is not a good melody? So I wanted to find out your take on what constitutes a good melody.
Good is extremely subjective. I mean, and I think that's important to remember as musicians, judges, performers, etc. Everything that we do here is going to be very subjective. Because what's good for me may not be good for Cleve, may not be good for my friend from Trinidad. You know what I mean? It's going to vary from person to person. What you seek to do as a panel, though, is to come to as close to the middle of the road as you could get together. So I may be able to appreciate certain things. As you said, I may not be able to sing it, but in the moment, I can appreciate this has a nice contour or whatever. Because you don't want a melody that's just a flat line going across. That's appeasing to most people. And then that is a chant. That's something different. there's scope for that depending on what you're looking for as well. So you will realize if I had gone into it, that soca, there's less emphasis in terms of points on melody because it's a bit more chanting style coming in, stuff like that, the party atmosphere. In the calypso arena, more emphasis on the melody, but again, it's subjective. So what's good for me, who I may love, somebody in the audience there, we just alright to them. And you see that very often, and those are the things that cause confusion between the panel. It causes confusion with the audience watching and stuff like that. So I can't see it, I can't dictate to anybody, but this is what makes a good melody. It's what's going to feel good to you and your ears. Those are things that make good melodies.
Yeah, precisely. That's the role of each judge to rate it, and that's why you have different ways to come to the calculation. Derek, could you explain the calculation of the scores? Whether we do show the highest or the lowest, what system we use or aggregate? How do you finalizing the scores? Do you do high, low, or aggregate?
Okay, here in Barbados now we use something called the rank order system. So each judge will essentially put the contestants in order, and each position will have a certain number of points attached to that position. So, for example, first here would be 20 points, second would be 18, and then when you go around the panel of the judges, if contestant A has, let's say, 4 for split positions, that would be 20 points by 4 mates, 80 out of a possible 100, and that's how the win is determined. We used to do the throw high and throw low years ago, but in an effort to get the most accurate result, this is how we've gone with it the past couple of years. Each system will have its pros and cons, but we found that this one has been a bit more accurate, kind of reflects the feelings of the judges a bit better.
Okay, thank you. We have time for 2 more questions. We have Vorgo. Vorgo, boy, I can't remember a song you sing. All I know you sing both slash in my backside as a teacher.
Yes, Derek. Two things I want to talk about. First of all, about the ranking system. Because of my bias in mathematics and statistics, I think that the best judging system is the ranking system. It can also be used with a combination of the disposal of the highest and lowest. But this aggregate system to me is obsolete and not good at all, whether mathematically or statistically speaking. And I yes. Okay, with the ranking system, many years ago we had a workshop here in St. Vincent and it was introduced. And from my knowledge in mathematics and statistics, I have studied it too and I've read about it. It gives you a better understanding of the consensus of the judges' feelings about the position. One of the dangers of the aggregate system is that if I am a hard judge, I may have 80 on my score sheet as being first, but 80 on another person's score sheet could be 5th or 6th. Yeah.
Right. That's an issue we always discuss. That's an issue we always discuss, and we have to continue to revisit. In Barbados, particularly between 1999 and 2005, they fiddled a lot with that until eventually by 2007-8, they found. Do we have any more questions? Because we have to move on. Anybody else? Okay, we have Willis. Well, if you know Willis, you're in the music. Willis is from the same band me touch. Man can't take boat, take away somebody, woman, you know, Harry Bank. Wait, pause, it was over the last night. You went to Ras Island Friends? Did you go to Ras Island Friends last night? Derek, can I hear me? Did you go to Ras Island Friends last night? Yeah, but Posa was there last night representing us. So we have Willis Williams. Willis Williams from the band Touch. He's a judge as well, arranger, producer, everything.
Hey Derek, how are you doing? I want you to break out for me because we spend a lot of time and we have now had extra focus on rendition. And it seems to be contending with melody and so on for marks. But can you break out for us what rendition entails? What are the elements that we look at in rendition?
So, just so it's clear, you just want to get what we look for in rendition?
Yes.
Okay. For me, personally, I don't look at the quality of the voice. Some people may look at that, but I don't put too much emphasis on that because, you know, voices vary from person to person. The most important thing to look for is the accuracy. That's for me what I appreciate. You don't have to be perfect 100%, but you need to be able to recognize the melody that's been established. So I don't want, because you got the most fantastic melody written out on paper, but then if we can't figure out what it's supposed to be, or you have the most beautiful arrangement, but the melody is not matching with the chords, then it's a problem. So once you can reproduce the melody and is then pleasing, not the voice, the melody. Once the melody is pleasing based on your rendition of it, that's what we tend to look for.
Thank you, Derek. So, Derek, if you could give us some closing comments from you.
I hope that I was able to provide a bit of insight. As I said at the beginning, contribute positively. Thank you so much for having me. It's a privilege and an honor, as I would say at the beginning. And feel free if you want some more insight, you want to hear some more from me, feel free to do that. And Cleve, hopefully we will run into each other at some point during the season.
Yeah, and we have the president of the Calypso Association to give you a vote of thanks before he mails you your thank you letter.
Thank you, Derek. This seems to be the Barbadian invasion. Vince Bajan and Bajan himself. Are you hearing me? No, you're welcome because we are Caribbean people. But on behalf of the Sevens and Grenadines Calypso Association, everybody gathered here, I want to extend my sincere gratitude to you. What you have done is insightful, it's food for thought, and I'm glad you say, because I believe that variety is the spice of life. And we don't always see the same things. But once we can rationalize and justify our actions, that's important. The president said it this morning. He said, the chairman of the Carnival Corporation, he said it best. He said, this fella here with his hands by his eye, all painter, he's known for wearing hats. I am known for wearing these. In fact, I'm called Hot Man. I usually think they mean hot, but they mean hat. I feel hot. Yes, so once we all have preferences, and there are a level of subjectivity, the most important thing is that you are impartial and that you are fair, and there's no attempt for you to derail the system, to be very plain for you to cheat because you lack integrity. And anybody who lacks integrity in a judges panel should be exiled. So thank you once again, Derek. You have done a wonderful job, and this is the beginning of a fruitful partnership. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kaba. And thank you very much, Monty. Let me give Monty a round of applause. Monty, again, better boy. We get a feedback. We hear everything nice. Hip hip for Monty. Yeah, Monty. And of course, Monty is always in the TED. I mean, sometimes I put as well try about. But we thank Monty for the work he doing, supporting Calypso and son. Bell, you know, your videos lined up. Well, like wake up the crowd, man. Wake up the crowd. Wake up the party. But meanwhile, Bell set up. Then you're singing. Yeah. Come, John, you're the real musician. You're the original musician. Show me along and police bank at it.
Oh, sa, sa, yeah.
Yes, yeah, darling. Boom, bim, ding, dong, dang, ding. Boom, boom, ba, ding, ding, dang, ding. Ba-dum, 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 ba-dum. Yeah. Let me go Lord Hawk, man. Let me go Lord Hawk. Let me go Lord Hawk. A crazy girl for mental home pan up by the name of June. Send a challenge to me for Carnival 93. She say, lassie, I win the road match. I had the fever and the cough. And I want you to understand, I come in strong with me ding-dong song. Ding-dong, ding-dong.
My road man song.
Ding-dong, ding-dong. Really sweet on pan. Ding-dong, ding-dong is an all radio station. So all you please tell the mighty hawk, I go be the queen of road march. Hey, ding dong, ding na, ratata, da no na.
Ding dong, the music was sweet on pan. Ding dong, on our radio station. All you please tell the mighty hawk, Piper will be the king of road march.
Upani bonje.
Yeah. And she bawling, Upani bonje. I say, Ale, Mamselle Isaye. And she bawling, Upani bonje. I say, Ale, Mamselle Isaye. It does really hurt me as man to hear people calling Poslat Islam. It does really hurt me as man to hear people calling Poslat Islam. It really hurt my heart, that's the reason I had to talk. The amount of things that Islam produce to St. Vincent is of good use. Where you find the great back from the land, right in the slum. Where you find right in the slum. Where you find land eating apple stew, right in the slum. And where you find Yati Boogaloo, right in the slum. Oh Lord, right in the slum. Hey, right in this land. Well, here it is. You know I was born in the slum, not down bottom town. So speaking about the slum, it is potent. The first youth football team, don't ask me what I mean, came from right in the slum. You can't doubt that one. Where you find roulette coaching clinic, right in the slum. Oh, right in, okay, the family now. Yeah. Right in the slum. And where you find the judges assembly, right in the slum. Where you find Kaba smiling, right in the slum.
Bam, 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 man, I need, I know. Right in the slum. I can't be.
Yeah, man.
Right in the slum. Bam, 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 badam, badam, bam, no. Right in the slum. And if I go in the slum, I go see. Bam, 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 in the slum. Tight, tight, do. Toy, 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 tight, tight, do.
Thank you. And one thing about Calypso. Calypso originally was yeah, Calypso was a spontaneous art form. But in the competitions, we write lyrics because by writing, we can improve our creativity and so on. And I really thank Willis and Mikey for coming here and helping me liven up the thing. And so on. So next we have Bell Anderson, Bell Paris. Bell has been the main man on stage in Victoria Park for the last 25 years. And the president agreed that we should bring Bell here because I don't know. Could we centralize, please? Could we centralize, please? And attention, please. I don't know how many of you have gotten a chance to speak to Bell with your concerns or to hear him with his concerns or advice. Because very often, the only time you get a chance is when you come around backstage and he tell you go here and go there. So here's an opportunity for him to share with you what he have observed over the last couple of years and give you suggestions of how we could improve. He's not here to cuss or pull long nobody. All right? So let me hear from Bill.
Good evening, everybody. I got correct Scotty for one thing by saying I'm the main man on the stage. I think the main person on the stage are you, the artist. That's for sure. I hide in from parties. You know, over the years, I know me and certain artists have felt out, has fallen out on certain issues because of how I do my job. I carry no punches, I hold no straight. I love every person, you believe it or not. And people may not know, but my favorite genre of music is Calypso. I love Calypso. I think in this time, in this modern times, we got to change a little bit. Not that we are doing it wrong, but we got to change. I think gone are the days of some of the things we still do. We got to get in tune with technology. We got to do our presentation. Presentation, a judge is a human being. Very first thing, judges are human beings. And I hear people saying, Marco response is only 5 minutes, and response is only 5 points, and this. A judge just gets clear from the beginning here. I don't care who he is. If he got feelings, he's a human being. And if you present your song the way it should be presented, if you look the part, because as Abijah said just now, I see somebody creeping into the invasive Calypso, that people just going backstage, picking up 5 or 6 girls, tell her come and put on this tight and go up on the stage and walk up. Nothing to do with the song. And I see it creeping in. And it concerning me, and it concerned me greatly. I talk to people about it already too. We got to stop it.
We must stop it because gone are the days when Calypso, when St. Vincent Carnival was just a wee little thing. That they're gone. St. Vincent Carnival is a wee little thing no more. St. Vincent Carnival now is an international festival. We showing St. Vincent Carnival to the world. And we got to come up to the mark. So when people, they're looking at it, they can't say what they're doing in this time in 2026 and 2025. We got to raise the bar. I got 2 clips because I do my thing different than people. I don't want to be good at telling people. I like to answer questions. So we could, you can help me and I can help you. So I got 2 clips here. I just want people to take a look at it and tell me what they think.
Right, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, deck.
Oh yes, the water rock. Every sailor must be tough. The boat is rocking. So the boat is rocking. It is a bumpy ride. We rolling with the tide. The boat is rocking. So the boat is rocking. Hold on to something. Hold on to anything. Hold on to something. Hold on to anything. 'Cause we rocking left, we rocking right, we rocking left, we rocking right. The boat is rocking. The boat is rocking. Rocking forward, rocking back. We won't be back, back. The boat is rocking. The boat is rocking. Sing to me, come on. Like me in a soca storm, somebody holding on. The boat is rocking, soca boat is rocking. We could only hope the boat would stay afloat. The boat is rocking, soca boat is rocking. Hold on to something, hold on to anything. Hold on to something, hold on to anything. 'Cause we rocking left, we rocking right, we rocking left, we rocking right. The boat is rocking, soca boat is rocking. Rocking forward, rocking back, we won't be back, playing back. The boat is rocking, soca boat is rocking. Sing for me, come on. Drop anchor, drop the anchor, drop anchor, drop the anchor, drop anchor, drop the anchor, drop anchor. The boat is rocking, soca boat is rocking. The boat is rocking, soca boat is rocking. Hold on to something, hold on to anything, hold on to something, hold on to anything. 'Cause we rocking left, we rocking left, we rocking left, we rocking left. The boat is rocking, soca boat is rocking. We rocking forward, rocking back, I won't be back, staying back. The boat is rocking, soca boat is rocking. Watch the wave, wave, watch the wave, wave, watch the wave, wave, watch the wave.
Yeah, go ahead, Bill. Go ahead.
Before you go there, you know we just had this problem yearly on the stage. If a little drizzle come, all the musicians just get wet down, the scores just get wet down. Anything could be done to think, you the man on the stage. Every time a little drizzle come, music, Bell, listen, Bell have a say. How come? Bell have a say? I know that. Bell have a say. Every time you go and you play.
Yeah, Bill, answer that question.
At this moment now, there ain't much and much I can do about it. I'm begging and I'm pleading with CDC to let's improve the size of the canopy because we have outgrown that canopy. We need at least a 60-foot wide canopy so that we can got the performers, the artists at least inside 50 feet so that when the rain fall, the other 10 feet, the water just drop on the ramp and go where it gotta go and the artists don't get wet. That's the only thing I can do about it now. I try a year to pull a tarpaulin, but the tarpaulin is too heavy and it keeps too much noise in the microphones. So that won't work either. So the only thing I only hope this time somebody will hear my voice and know that we need a bigger canopy for St. Vincent Canopy. We outgrow that stage. That stage is too small now.
Question. What is the height you usually carry the canopy?
The height for the
for the Calypsonian, not for the mass.
The height for the canopy in Victoria Park will be used for the Calypso. So for most of the shows, we do 18 feet.
18 feet.
For mass, we go to 20 feet, sometimes 21 feet.
Okay. What is the average height of any individual on stage? 6, 7 feet?
So, let me call it 6 foot.
Okay.
We ain't got much of them, let me say 6 feet.
All right. How low you could bring down the canopy? At the night of the event, could the canopy move from a stable position?
It can, but it's a restful thing.
So you see the point I was trying to make?
No, you got me lost.
Eh? No, that is why I'm asking the height. Because I'm comparing it now with the stand. Yeah? Yes, but the height of the person compare now, then we can use the height of the person on the stage. Because what I noticed that the double-decker on that side, if you're on the upper deck, you wouldn't be able to see. That is the only difference.
The stage in Barbados, we do something like 80 to 90 feet. And if we're using canopies, we go to 100 feet, 100 to 120 feet sometimes. It depends on what we're using. Pardon me? Plenty. Right now we're using 80 foot because we're using canopy. The one that you see in this picture, this here would have span about 120 feet because the dome would be sitting on the stage. The difference is in Barbados, what you see in here is the ramp. The ramp is not at the side to go on the stage because remember here, the time we can't bring vehicles on the stage because it interferes with things. So Barbados,
Hold on, Monty, hold on.
we put the ramp in the front. So we can, this actually is Edwin Yeager's car here, I believe. Driving right across here. So we come on here, we go off here.
Yeah. Well, actually, this is 3 stages you're watching here, right?
Yep.
If you all notice here, this is the boat here.
The boat down here, look.
Right? And in St. Vincent, we don't use off stage enough. Every single thing we want to put on stage. And another thing in this video, if you notice, the stage is not clogged. We bring too much people on at one time. And sometimes it's difficult as judges to focus on what. Because I want to listen to you, and then I see 15 people run on one time, and by the time I look across I miss a line you say. I might hear the audience, woo! And I wonder, what's Harvey just say? If you notice in here, he's not clogging the stage, because when you watch the shot from the top, you could see him and him alone, right? Obviously, Plastic Bag is a veteran, but what we want to do is improve our art. And the other thing too, because we know in the social media TV age, where everything instantaneously go worldwide, you have to be more conscious of these things, because at the end of the day, even in the cinema, I see people going dressed like nothing and going on the stage. You should not be doing this in this modern day and time. Right? Get a proper jacket, even if you borrow something, even if you take some spray paint and spray on it. Every time you go on stage, no. Patches, you can say I set you up. Right? In this modern time, and people watching you and laughing. It has so many times, me and Belle, we are home, we watching things, and I message Belle. Belle, you see all them way up on the stage? Belle, you see them people on the stage stand up drinking and smoking? All of these things is what is going to pull on the quality. If you look at that video, you see any idler anywhere on the side of the stage? Huh?
When I talk about being tidy and thinking in the park, I get cast. Huh? This is my area. Look where I am. This is me out here. I can't go nowhere near there. I am not allowed here. This is the performance area. My work, I do it here. The other technical people, they do their work over here. Not allowed near the stage. Now, in this area, I got all kind of rats and things in here. But if the fire chief come and see one cable out, sure stop. And this is things that I trying to bring here, that backstage have to look like the front stage, neat and tidy. That if nobody can win, I'll strip over a cable. So I'm here, you can't even see me, because here is a screen blocking everything that I could do back there. So you and the audience can't see me, period. Here and there, look. Now, when I talk about performances, I put it together, this story. Watch this here. This is his mask. It's nowhere near there. His mask is here. So that when he got to deliver his strongest lines of his song, he's here. Not getting taken away from the dancers up here, as what Scotty knows here. Watch where his boat is. Off stage. I just want to run the other track there a little bit. Just keep this in mind, people, so that we get back, we can ask some questions.
I have him.
Heavy metal punk up and defeated and disputed silent violence over of mass destruction, the children and concreted civil vote. Somebody say! Fire of God, man! You're all low! You're all! Somebody say! Let's go! You're all! Avengers! 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 Avengers!
Avengers. Victoria Park, put your hands in the air. 1, 2, 1. Avengers come, nothing weird. Here's something happy. Hold on, shelter, flood. Avengers, everything gonna shake, everything gonna jump, everything gonna fit, everything gonna shut. Madness up in the place. This party of vision. Tell them in the mistake. We are the Avengers. This is the defenders. We ready to shell them. So if I can make them, get something to revenge. We mashing up the left and the right and the. We go in the trainers. It's time to sink and brave. Tell them we're not afraid. Tell them we're not afraid. Unlike Bruce Banner, when we get in a rage, tell them we're not afraid. Listen. Turn by the hands of time. Everything that I made, I sacrifice to my people. Them I come here to see it. Now I come in with vengeance. And I come in rage. Everybody, 1, 2, 3. Oh, nothing real. The whole damn shell done hot. Avengers. Everything gonna shake. Everything gonna chop. Everything gonna crack. Madness up in the place. This party have been shot. Tell them in no mistake. We are the Avengers. We ready to shine them. Anytime they enter. If they rest me, take back them something to remember. Right, the center. When the war starts, we mashing up the park. It's not for them to talk. It's not for them to talk. This crowd of the park. When
I the kind of guy that I like both things, but there's a lot of. Let me see. I don't want to use the wrong word because we're not going to say Vincent you're liable to get killed. So let me choose my words very closely. This is too much. This is too much. This get away, this take away from the entire performance of the artist. Although it's spectacular, it is too much. And it gives a false impression to people that we have the God. And that's why I bring up this particular one. It gives artists in St. Vincent the belief that we got thousands of dollars to do a presentation because everybody want to look like this. The presentation that Plastic Bag did, the most expensive thing in his presentation was the steering wheel. And you know what we do? We bought it. We went and bought it from a place. We bought this. Hats, suits, everything, nothing. Cost nothing. And a spectacular presentation. The screen, you went from the screen in these rough waters straight to here. Now we do the other presentation, 2 million things. What the dancers in Plastic Bag presentation? The dancing, the rough waters. The dancing to the rough water, to the song, to the performance of the artist singing, they're dancing. Watch the dance. You go back there and get a little player.
Play, Monty, play.
Just play. Watch it. Everything to the rough waters. You're rocking, huh? You're rocking. Captain, the boat, the ship is rocking. Look, you're rocking. No, go back to the other one. Check the dancers. Anything. We just felt in ways. What does it do with the Avengers? What? Tell me what the dancers is to do with the presentation on stage. Because there's too much on stage. It's too much.
Okay, we have Tajo with a question, Bill. Pause,
Yeah.
Monty. Pause. Let me hear from Tajo. Come, Tajo, I'll bring a mic for you. Hold on.
Let me do some questions.
All right, so I very much agree with what you're saying, Bill, in reference to what is on the stage in terms of the amount and the number, in terms of the crowdiness of the stage. I agree with you. However, I think in St. Vincent we have a different concept of what we want to see when we go to Soca Monarch. Most people who go to Soca Monarch over the years, they don't go to Victoria Park to hear the singer. They go to see what he brings to enhance the song. So maybe Barbados' concept is a little different from us, based on what I know.
Tajo, I'm going to ask you a question. I'm coming to you. And that's why I come a historian, and that's why I remind people a historian. Who is the first person to go to Victoria Park for Soca Monarch and do a presentation on stage? Who go remember? Who remember the artist and the song? Nah. Nah. So when the first Soca Monarch?
Mozart, a helicopter?
Mozart with helicopter. Mozart with helicopter. And who conceptualized that performance? It was me. And where did I get the idea from? From Barbados. I just came back from university, right? And as Bell said, when me and Adrian Bailey was working on this song, and we said, Mozart, you're going in Soca Monarch, you're going to win. And we had to get a helicopter. Mozart think we got to rent a helicopter. So I said, Charles, you remember Baines got a helicopter on the corner? Go and tell Baines he'll wait. So Baines, he said, no problem, just give me 2 tickets. How to fly the helicopter? Charlie said, boy, Peter said he want to come back. Peter said he go fly it with the crane. Right? And that's the point Bell is making, that, and Abijah know these things, can Abijah, when you did this train, Abijah bring down his brother Alman from up the hill. Right? We want good presentation, but there's a difference between being overly elaborate. You see they say? This is total nonsense. I ain't conservative start to do it. This is total nonsense. Pat just made a point just now, right? If I am in Germany and then I turn on my TV to see that, I can strip my teeth. Everything about that is wrong for television. Look at the amount of smoke you can't even see where they're in the left hand. Look at the amount of, what do you think them in the paper thing that dropping down? Look at the amount of people. Huh? Overkill.
Problems is the amount of flags on the crowd that hinder the judges from seeing the performance.
Right? So there's a thin line between, and Tajo, and finish your point. Now, your point, Tajo, is in line to what Abijah said. Abijah said earlier that people feel now that they must bring all of these people on stage. And you don't understand what Abijah is saying now? Abijah is one of the last of the great Mohicans, along with Abijah being in Abijah. How much years you sing in Calypso? How much years, Abby? 40 years. And you come to Victoria Park and meet me. Huh? You came to Victoria Park and meet me, and I tell you how to use the stage. So the point is, if he been around for so long, and he's seeing these things, he said, well, where these things come from? As far as I know about Calypso. So in Soca Monarch, in Soca Monarch in St. Vincent, we were one of the first countries that really excel in presentations. We excelled in presentations. But we have reached a level now where that people just throw anything on the stage. They just throw anything on the stage, and we have to stamp it out. It is not but no culture, Tajo. It is that people do not know. Right? They know when the world they go and do that, and people going to be saying that's a good thing. They strip their teeth. Yes, Patches.
I was telling Ipan, I'm always observing the fact that with all these people involved, dozens of people, Fireman famous for that, it technically involves all of the family and a whole village. Everybody wants to go to park to see the daughter, the son dancing. If you bring 50 people on this stage, that's 50 families. Unlike Calypso, the most you might bring is 8 or 10 people. So I personally feel that that helps to give it a kind of spin-off. That's how I look at it.
We ain't talking about the number of people involved enough. We're talking about the number of people put on stage at one time. And the point that we are making is you could find things for people to do at the front, at the side, up in the pavilions, all around. But we have to try to keep the stage in a kind of way. Otherwise, the quality of the product, we're going to lose, and people are going to laugh at us and say, what is that? Where's the entertainment value? You would not see that in the Grammys. You would not see that in the Grammys. And where we are now, with social media and technology, we have to cross our I's and dot our T's. And I talk like Brother Free. Y'all remember Free? When Free said Jonah swallowed the whale?
The way around, the other way around.
All right, but yeah, Tajo.
Okay, my next point, Bell, and you made a very valid point. I was just sharing with the brethren. I think this was Skinny's most expensive defeat. Skinny spent almost 100,000.
That's what I was going to ask you.
We spent...
What happened to this presentation? Because I know you got beat in this presentation by a very simple presentation.
We spent $800. Versus almost 100,000, and still beat that. So again, you have to you don't need a lot of money. You just have to be creative.
But that's what I'm trying to tell you. It fooled the younger artists into believing you have to have this. You have to have this to make a great presentation. You know how many artists come to me and tell me, "Man, we ain't got no money to buy this, and we ain't got no money to buy that, and we can't pay the $10,000 because this fooled the young generation. Instead of using this, it's a sad thing, you know. That artists sing a song, and when you ask you what is this presentation like, I don't know. How could you write a song, sing a song, and then got a clue where's your presentation, but then you want to come and put enough of this on the stage and get enough fireworks and some girls walking up and dancing, and they tell me, oh, that was my presentation. Because you're copying out, you're cheating. You ain't want to work hard, so you're using all of this ignorance here, all of this stupidness for a presentation.
Yeah, but just to continue with that same production with Skinny. When he performed in Trinidad, Headbad, and I'm on the judging panel there, and he came with the same thing, who was to say elaborate stuff, and I say, oh my God, man. The other judges even started kicks off of me, oh God, Vinci, where's that?
I don't know if that's the one with the bunnies. Charge up.
My problem is that since I come back here, a lot of folks saying, especially folks coming in from the diaspora, is that they can't see the artists and others on stage, the faces. You have to look on the television screen to see the faces. So they was asking if they could be improved with the lighting. I know the artists always complain about the light in the face and thing. But if you notice the professionals, they usually use a certain sun glasses and things like that.
That's on me. That's not on the artist, that's on me. And it's a battle I got going on with the technical company here. When I used to come from Barbados with the lights, we used to focus on white lights on the front of the stage, plenty white lights. I don't want to get licked, so let me choose my words carefully. The technical companies here does not understand the difference between a CDC competition and a party. A party affects red fat, one of the other effects out there is different lighting. It's a completely different lighting than a CDC event. A CDC event, most of them is competitions. Competitions must have white lighting and side lighting for two reasons. You got the artists have to see the artist, and television have to see the artist. I have in a battle here, and the musicians must see the scores. And my battle here with the technical company, this lighting company, is that they don't believe in white lights nor side lights. And it's a battle I got going on and on. But they don't know how, but the battle that is fight. The lighting company, the lighting engineer tell me,
Bell, don't say that. Don't say that, don't say that. Point made, don't say that. Don't say that, Bell.
Okay, yeah.
Don't say that, point made.
Right.
And there's a way in which we address everything. And the point is taken. Kaba, hope you're making notes of these things, you know. Yeah, right? That, and especially when you go to the board meeting, we would really like the lighting situation to be addressed. We like the thing with the rain to be addressed because it's been going so all the time. If we have a change of the guard, we need a change of the environment also. All right? Right, we done other, the other one. Yeah, Abijah?
And I'm happy that you stopped Bell because you have to be thoughtful the point you made. And I understand Bell. This is an open secret. This is not something that Bell is sharing with you the first time. If you understand Bell, you'll understand that this has reached the ears of the authorities. The most I can do as the Calypso president, the representative of Calypsonians on the board, is to echo. I'm not going to take the credit to make it long. I am going to bring it up. It's just to echo and drive home the point what Bell is saying. Yeah. Right? For us to enhance the product, we must up our game.
That for the Calypso competitions, the raga, the soca, the Calypso, please emphasize the white light so people can see and forget about all of this. What is that? You can't see nothing there?
But it's also on the artist. Huh? Let me.
No. They Patrice, when you want to get into the technicality, because as a singer, everybody know you like keyboard, right? And if you're going to sing, any engineer is supposed to know. You bring a Patrice keyboard. Because if you go up there to sing Patrice and all you hear is barely hearing guitar, you will never feel good. So we ain't talking about flavoring. We're talking a basic standard. This is no standard, nowhere near all. Any artist come and say you want that, something wrong with you. I work for CBC TV, and if they tell me avoid white shirt, I cannot turn up and sit on the people's chair in pure white. They're going to ask me if I'm crazy. Right? Will they tell me dress in a particular way? Every time I sit down there, everybody's, wow, who you find them short? Right? Because I understand I am part of the entertainment. And when you turn on your TV and watch me, you have smile and say, boy, that man look good, boy. But if I go on, tape jersey and so on, or, thing pull long so, people strip the teeth. Right? So Bell point is taken. We want to round up because, Abijah?
No, the Calypso competition in the cinema, the lighting is set up for a cinema kind of thing. There are some additional lights at the side of the thing, spotlights. And what I was told is that the people say them light ain't supposed to turn on until you get TV, right? When we had our show the other night, I went and I turned on the lights. But the tents before did not get to use them because the people saying them is only went for TV. I want to know if I on stage, if I don't want people to see me clearly and see my face and all of that. So I don't know if the president could address that TV part.
Don't cover that. Point taken. Point taken, we have to revisit the lighting in the cinema as a matter of urgency. Yeah, the point is taken. It's unfortunate that me and Bill leaving now, because I would ask Bill to go with you, Kaba. And Junior, I hope you listen, Junior Mason. Yeah, I know. Should supposed to be listening. That we could deal with it, right? That's not something difficult. We could deal with it, right, Bill? Either by this and so. Somebody?
Kaba, I don't know if you invite any the song company, the song engineer here today. But I have a problem with song. I mean, I was there this week, listen.
Inslee, you're an engineer, you know you ain't supposed to do that. Last year we had Junior Mason. He was supposed to be, we were supposed to have this last week, and we couldn't have it. And today he's in Barbados for Gospel Fest. The monitor engineer, he was invited. He told me he was coming. He didn't show, right? Whatever problem you have, I think you should discuss it directly with Kaba, and we could see what could be done. No. You see, in St. Vincent, we like to do the right things the wrong way. I don't encourage that. Because I was an engineer in Victoria Park, and I had to tell plenty man all them other plenty times. Right? Because people, one time a fellow at the board of directors, he in pan. He come to me and tell me I must mix the pan. So I said, boy, I don't work with the movie of so-and-so from wrong me. There must be a proper way in which we do things. And we have to be scientific. What is the challenge? And you have to have a discussion, and we have to be able to zero it in and fix it. Right? We can't be dealing with things that way, otherwise we're going backwards. I remember one time writing a letter in the newspaper because Bassi Alexander criticized me. And I tell Bassi, I say, Bassi, do you know the mountain engineer around the world I don't teach? They had a workshop in Barbados 2 weeks ago to teach people engineering. To the man they have the teaching people engineering. Who you think they help teach them? Who you think help teach them? I bring them here and cry them down by the blues to walk and learn with me. But we have this mentality. We need to stamp it out. We have talent. We have challenges. Let's identify them and respectfully find a way to address them. All right? So whatever challenge we have with the sound or perceived challenges, there's a right way. Mr. President, we do it. Bell, thank you very much. We want to round up. We don't want to keep people over time. What we'll do now, anyone who wishes to make any final comments, and I'm going to start with Willis and Mikey, and then we'll take it from there after.
Well, thanks, Cliff. Thanks, Kaba, Calypso Association, for inviting me today. I always try to come once I'm available. I am more available these days than normal as I have aged. Huh? I like you. But I think today was a really, really great session. I am particularly happy to see young Mr. Augustus, young Dr. Augustus. You know, and I'm hoping that we could keep him. You know, you got him? Good. I hope he brings along a few more of his colleagues, you know, to join this esteemed group of nation builders, because it's a labor of love. You know, and we only mean well, we only do the best, and we all hope that coming out of this meeting, out of this session today, we could up the game, improve what we deliver, and get people to appreciate a little more of what we do. One of the things, and didn't come out, but one of the things that we have to impress on the authorities is the appreciation they need to show for the judges and the participants in the development. And not everybody is a performer, but a judge is just as important as a performer. And when you get a last minute notice to judge, well, I could deal with that, but not everybody can. When you don't know how you're getting in the park, when you get to the gate and you can't get inside because no, you don't have your tickets, or you have to go and line up. I think if you're giving your service, not that we want anything special, but we ought not to have to go through that sort of ordeal. I have never gone through that sort of ordeal in any other country. I've done a lot of public service outside, and the appreciation is shown. And I think here in St. Vincent we need to start to pass it on to the people who take part and mean well. Well, with that said, I'm just impressed with what we did here today. I think what we did here, what Scotty has brought to this front is novel. Probably never happened here before. I feel like people, I mean, when we hear singing and we hear playing together and so on, I think it augurs well for another one. We need another one of these, and maybe not next year. But, as even after Carnival and soon after Carnival, we should do another one and keep together. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, Willie.
Thank you, Willis. I must say thank you, Scotty, for bringing this workshop to St. Vincent and opening the eyes of some of us who weren't aware of the shortcomings in our entertainment system. I also have a little piece to fit in when it comes to your performances. I would like to stand for this one so you can see me better. Attending some of the tents and attending some of the, seen performances where artists' use of the microphone, right? How you use the microphone, how you hold the microphone is also paramount to your performance. Copying it like this would give you that sound. Holding it like that would give you another sound. Holding it like this would give you another sound. The way how you hold your microphone and how you use your microphone also enhances your performance. Okay? When you have to make, when you have to emphasize, on a phrase or whatever, and you have to it could come like shouting, but it's not shouting. And if you do that with a louder voice and bring in the microphone closer to you for proximity effect, you will get that effect. When you have to emphasize something with a louder voice, and you remove it from you, it will give you the better. It would enhance that part much better. So these are things that we, on your as artists, calypsonians and soca performers, using of your mic is very important too. Okay, and thank you, Scotty, for bringing this workshop to St. Vincent, and it's been a great pleasure working with you all. We could come here and still have a little ding-along with the music. And I hope we all get a lot of stuff that we could take away from this workshop, and we can have it another other time, much more frequent than just once a year. Thank you.
The one thing I like is having a microphone stand rather than just keep my hands free. I can dance better. When you hold this in your hands, something happens.
Go for that mic to come on this side.
Standing and singing with a microphone, you might do it that way, but when you perform in Calypso, all right, when you perform in Calypso, emphasizing what you're saying with body motion, hand gestures, you're not buying it.
because of your background in entertainment. I understand that. Other people might not.
Thank you, Mikey. And for those who don't know, Mikey engineered the tents for a long time. In 2000, when the government changed, 2001, I convinced the CDC to put one sound system and that all the tents use it to equalize. Because I was tired running here and there, man calling me, come mess for Mango George. Killing me, man. I can't get look for a little piece of thing. So they agreed, and I did it the first year. And after that year, I told Mikey, well, boy, tired of this. And Mikey did it. And then after that, we got Junior Mason to do it. Right? But I want to make this point publicly. There is a culture in St. Vincent young engineers who think that the song system and a band is theirs. Every band determines who is their engineer. I don't know people get that from. If I leave and I go Japan and I the engineer for touch, I the engineer for touch. The Japanese engineer have a movie backside. Right? And in St. Vincent, this thing, Kaba, we need to cut it out. If Onto have a band, Onto I will tell the president who they want to engineer the tent. I engineered a tent in Barbados for 12 years. When I left Victoria Park, I engineered for 12 years. And the 12 years, I said, boy, fed up with that. Again, a varicose vein. I had nothing to prove. Time to relax and drink some rum. Right? If graduates wants its own engineer, so be it. Then the Calypso Association decides who must engineer the semifinals and who must engineer the finals. It is your show. You can't have a fella because he's working with us. Look, Ainsley was the engineer for Rebels. Ainsley come Victoria Park, we sound check everything. When time for start the show, Ainsley tell me, man, you mix. People see me mixing for Rebels, but they know Ainsley tell me, man, you mix. Ainsley go bring to me and say, I say, Ainsley, you play smart, you want to drink me. You come stand up there. And I said, no. Ainsley telling like, huh? I tell you, right? So we have to stamp it out. I get in too many complaints about it. Right? Kaba, something we have to address. It is getting now totally. I've been getting the complaint for the last so much years. We have to do something about it. Every band determines who is their engineer. And it's worldwide. Okay? Even in Barbados, the festival band determines who is the engineer. Sometimes the preferred engineer is the engineer for the company. But the company does not tell you who engineer. Because what the company does at Hyper.
The company just come there and set up and that's it.
What is it called?
Eh?
What is it called?
A company?
Sound reinforcement, it is called. The duty of the company is to provide the equipment, set everything, and then after they hand it over. If Bob Marley come here, we're going to tell him. If Michael Jackson come, we're going to tell him. Huh? Because you understand, you need to deal with it. Having too much complaints. Right? You decide who through a process of thing. And the tent have the first say. Right, Patches? Or Patches got Patches?
Because we've had some problems over the years when we had a preferred engineer, right, Ipa? And people were adamant that it shouldn't be like that. One person must mix. So your point is, you're making some strong points, Scotty.
So you think I could turn up a touch and a Chinese man can come tell me I mix Willis?
And to mix to touch, you have to attend the practices. You had to practice with the band.
You had to know the songs. You had to know the songs, Hyper. You had to know the songs, so the engineer had to come to practice with the band. You can't shop by the tent and then you mix out Hyper drum machine. Yeah? All right. So, Kaba, closing words. Kaba, closing words.
Okay. Now, just as Dr. Scott talked about the song engineer, I kept telling the Calypsonians every year, or anytime I appear at a workshop, that the auditors should sit with the judges and understand the scientific ranking system. Over the years, when I've been chief judge for over 5 or 6 years, the auditors never knew what the ranking system was. They were doing what you call aggregate. I had to go and make noise with them and tell them, you all are not changing any position here. We make the position all, you only have to look it over and verify it. Judges are the ones to bring the position. Otherwise, in a court of law, you have not done your work as a judge. The auditors are only to verify what the judges did. They're not the ones to bring the results. I keep telling you all this, you know, and CDC will never understand until they get a big lawsuit and they have to fork out money. The judges are to bring the results, not the auditors.
So, Mr. Cummins, you're saying that the auditors could determine who win the competition?
That's what they're doing, and it is not right.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
From my experience, many auditors in St. Vincent here do not know the ranking system. So you carry the score to them and they go back to aggregate.
So it's incumbent on the Calypsonians and their own interests to push that kind of head.
I don't want to name any.
All right.
How many years I invite the auditors to come and say,
Mr. President, just before you make your closing remarks, I just want to say something. It's I've been coming workshop for a long time, and it's the best turnout I've ever seen for a workshop. You know, one of the things I noticed that is very identifiable here is that members of the tent, the Calypso tents, I ain't seen a lot of members of the, and I judging from what happened into the tent I singing in, I think the information was not disseminated to the Calypsonians for them to be here. Because there were other workshops that I attend that I saw more Calypsonians turn out to judges' workshop.
Okay.
So,
okay, Marla wants hold on, Marla wants to say something. We have to be mindful. We have to be mindful that Scotty has to leave here. Hold on, Lance. Please hold on. Hold on. Don't be disrespectful. I'm saying something. Don't be disrespectful. I'm saying something. We have to understand that Scotty has to leave here. He emphasized that. He has to catch a flight tonight. So just be mindful of that when we speak. And he asked me to complete the session. I allowed person, but I'm just saying be mindful, because when one person asks and another asks, how am I to justify who I'm allowed to speak? Marla.
Yeah, I just wanted to, again, a quick word, right? First of all, the workshop was enlightening. It was very insightful. And, you know, walking away, I think it was productive being here. That's the first thing. Secondly, I was wondering about the participation, because workshops that I've been to recently is basically the same faces, except a few new ones, and the same focus. So I often wonder, because don't the soca artists and raga soca and so on come under the Calypsonians Association? And I asked the question because last night, we're looking at recent events, right? The St. George's Calypso Raga Soca. There were 20 soca artists. And to be quite honest, you could have predicted the content. Everything was about Corey and Cooney and Iron in different ways, and water. And we had to do something about the content. We had to do something. So if perhaps, I don't know if it could be integrated in a session like this, or you could have a symposium that pulls together.
Okay, let me just stop you right there. I just wanted to refer to you have the program in front of you? Yeah, let's read what the program says.
Yes, it says St. Vincent and Grenadines Calypso Association in collaboration with the Carnival Development Corporation Calypso Judging Workshop.
That's all that says?
Yes.
Oh,
well, Calypso, and in bracket it has Calypso, Raga Soca, and Soca.
Extremely important.
Right.
You see, context, if you move that out, it's a completely different thing. You'll think it's Calypso in isolation. And I've always made the point. I insisted on that being there. And not only did I insist, persons from the soca and raga soca were invited, because we recognize. Yes, we recognize that. So I just want to answer her, right? Now, I am delightfully happy. You know why? What I am going to say here is echoing your sentiments. It's not that all Carabiner, the president of Simpson and Granite Calypso Association is going to say it was a wonderful workshop. It was innovative. Those same words emanated and originated from your mouths. And indeed, I am satisfied. I have great confidence in Dr. Cliff Scott. That is why I went to him again. In a matter of days, we put together, not we, he put together the program. I did most of the other logistics along with the Symphony of the Granite Calypso Association. And this is innovative. Here we have two of the better musicians in Simpson. I want to be politically correct because if I say the right thing, it will come out the wrong way. But I have great admiration, and nonetheless, for Willis and his ability. All right, so, okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, wherever my voice is being heard and being seen, I want to thank Dr. Scott and all the participants for attending this innovative workshop. Thank you very much. May God bless you all.